of those things, everybody has to be disciplined. The safeties can't come up until the ball crosses the line of scrimmage, and we know for a fact that it's run. But sometimes in those cases, if you're not careful, it could be too late. So it's a fine line we have to walk. But hey, Buddy Stevens knows how to walk that line. He's 9-0 against the Bulldogs from Holmes Community College.
We're going to talk further about Holmes as we get a little bit deeper into this pregame show. Charlie will have a stats comparison for you here in just a bit. Let's go back down on the field now to Glenn. Glenn, it's starting to kind of feel like football weather again, even though the temperatures are not going to get out of the upper 60s tonight. We're going to see a low tonight of 60, but probably the lowest we'll see will be about 68. But the humidity is down out there, isn't it?
Oh, it's perfect. I mean, usually we're down here on the sidelines and the humidity's up a little bit and you've got sweat going on your brow. Not tonight. The humidity is down. It's really pleasant fall weather. This is October football weather. And the flag is still as can be. So there's no wind, so that's not going to play a factor here. So, hey, clear skies, we're ready to rock.
All right, thank you, Glenn. Let's go back to EMCC as far as the team before we take our break and hear from Buddy Stevens. Tyrell Price is a little bit banged up, hit his shoulder this past week as he ran into a receiver in practice. He's going to see some limited time tonight. He's still on the two deep as starting tonight, so we'll say he's going to start, but don't be surprised if Jamori Mark goes out there and takes the first carry of the game. That's Malik Bell. He'll be back tonight. EMCC getting some guys back, getting them back at the right time, like a Malik Bell, that's going to shore up some things on that offensive line.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we're going to see tonight is that depth that this EMCC team has at that running back spot. Jason, we've been talking about it all season. How are you going to find carries for a guy like Justin Connor, a very good running back? Maybe tonight is that chance for him to kind of break through and have his big game.
When we return, we'll hear Buddy Stevens with his thoughts on tonight's top 15 matchup. Holmes going through loosening drills to our right. EMCC has gone to the locker room as they're going over some final instructions. Kickoff is coming up at the top of the hour. But next, Buddy Stevens here on the EMCC Radio Network.
It's football time in Scuba, Mississippi. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sullivan Wyndham Field for tonight's MAC-JC matchup between the Holmes Community College Bulldogs and your defending MAC-JC champion East Mississippi Lions. East Mississippi Community College President Dr. Tom Hubner and the EMCC family would like to welcome the Holmes Community College travel party to tonight's football contest. The National Junior College Athletic Association, the Mississippi Association of Community and Junior Colleges, and East Mississippi Community College promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Negative comments, profanity, racist, sexist, or other abusive comments or actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from Sullivan Wyndham Field. EMCC thanks you for your support and cooperation.
I'm Dr. Tom Hubner, President of East Mississippi Community College, home of the three-time NJCA National Champions in football. On behalf of the faculty, staff, students, and Board of Trustees, we welcome you to Sullivan Wyndham Field. There's no better day to be a Lion.
Please remember that only authorized personnel with proper credentials will be permitted on the field before, during, or after a Lions game. Any unauthorized person going onto the field will be removed. Fans, we are pleased to have Starkville High School Band visiting with us this evening. Please join us in welcoming them to Sullivan Wyndham Field.
All right, thank you, baby chair. All right, thank you. Leaders nationally with a 65.4 pass completion percentage. That's Lindsey Scott Jr. He's 104 of 159 this year for 1,392 yards, 278 per game, 10 touchdowns thrown, 4 interceptions on the season. Tyrell Price will be limited tonight, but he is listed as a starter. 6 foot 220, the sophomore from Lafayette County High School, has 70 carries for 490 yards, 98 yards per game, so just 2 shy of 100, and 11 touchdowns on the year. The top wideouts, number 3, Kirk Merritt, 6 foot 210, a sophomore from Destrehan, Louisiana, 25 receptions for 379 yards, averaging 76 yards per game per catch, or at least in receiving 2 touchdowns, averaging about 15 yards per catch. That's Kirk Merritt out of Louisiana. Daniel Kroll Jr., 6'2", 210, a sophomore from Meridian High School, will also start at receiver. On the other side of the ball, it's number 4, Dorian McLaurin, 6'3", 200, a sophomore from Collins High School. And number 13, Calvin Keys Jr., 5'10", 190, a sophomore also from Collins High School. The Hogs up front from left to right tackle, you've got number 51, Jacoby Jones, 6'2", 285, a freshman from Starkville High School. At left guard out of Lafayette County High School, it's number 55, Matt Tolles, 5'11", 325. He is a freshman. Connor Reinecke, the freshman from Starkville High School, is the starter at center, wearing jersey number 54, standing at 6'1", weighing 290. The right guard is number 63, LaQuinston Sharp, 6'3", 315, a freshman from Columbus High School. And right tackle number 75, Walter Barnes, 6'2", 275, a sophomore from Charleston High School. And that's a look at the starters offensively. On defense, EMCC at left end will start number 92, Aaron Boatwright, 6'5", 235, a sophomore from Manning, South Carolina, has 11 tackles solo, that is 1 assist for 12 total, 4 sacks on the year. And defensive tackle number 43, Cole Baker, 6'3", 275, out of Birmingham, Alabama. He is a sophomore. Marquise Griffin out of Leake Central High School, 6'3", 225. The sophomore will start at nose guard. And at right end, it's number 47, Eric Kitchen out of South Panola High School. They used to call him the University of South Panola, 6'2", 245. He is a freshman. Your linebacking core from strong to weak side. Your strong side backers, number 25, Dwayne Pickett Jr., 6'1", 185, a sophomore from Callaway High School. Your middle linebackers, number 34, Emmanuel Bridges, 6'2", 225, a freshman from Noonan, Georgia. At weak side, number 33, Tyree Evans, leading the team in tackles, 41 tackles with 11 assists for 52 total. He's 6'2", 210, a sophomore from Wayne County High School. Your secondary, number 23, Duke Upshaw, 6', 185, a sophomore from Baldwin High School, has 13 tackles, 11 solo on the year. Your other quarterbacks, number 6, Ty Williams, has an interception on the year, weighing 175, standing at 5'11". He is a sophomore from Charleston High School. Strong side linebackers, number 44, Denzel Bonner, 6'2", 205, a sophomore from Wayne County High School. And your free safeties, number 9, Jaquez Akins, 5'9", 185, a freshman from Starkville High School. Your specialists, your place kicker, number 30, Taylor Crabtree, 5'8", 170, a sophomore from Van Cleve. Missed last week's game at Mississippi Delta with an illness. He's 4 for 4 on field goals with a long of 39 this year and is perfect on PATs, 27 of 27. Grayson Pontius will handle the kickoff duties, 6'2", 205, a sophomore from Biloxi High School. And your punter is Taylor Crabtree with 9 punts, 353 yards, 39 yards per kick. Your punt returner will be number 3, Kirk Merritt. He'll swap time with Mike Williams. And also your kick returners will be Kirk Merritt and Mike Williams. Your long snappers, number 46, Raleigh Wood IV, 6'2", 210, a sophomore from Grenada High School. And your holders, number 24, Braden Boykin, 5'7", 160, a freshman from Madison Central High School. And that's a look at the starting lineups for the EMCC Lions. It's a top 15 battle here in Scooba, Mississippi. The temperature for tonight is going to dip down into the 60s. About 68 is the lowest temperature we'll see during game time. Overnight temperature will be around 60 degrees. It's clear skies, almost perfect football weather as Charlie Winfield rejoins us here in the booth. Charlie is going to take a look at our stats comparison for us as we start to take a look at Holmes Community College. This is a team that really makes their living on the ground, Charlie. They're one of the best in the nation. Matter of fact, tops in the nation with yards per game on the ground.
Yeah, they certainly are, rushing for 388 yards per contest, almost 80% of their total yardage coming on the ground. They have 388 out of their 480 overall, so a very run-heavy team, as you say, Jason. Meanwhile, though, they're a little more susceptible to the pass defensively, allowing 215 yards per game through the air, allowing 142 on the ground. Holmes scoring right at 38 points a game, allowing 20. EMCC, meanwhile, fairly balanced. A team that has 520 yards per game overall, 294 of that through the air, 225 on the ground. EMCC, an impressive 50 points per game offensively, meanwhile allowing just 15. So average margin of victory of 35 points per contest. So when you outscore your opponents by 5 touchdowns a game, Jason, you are doing something right. Yardage allowed, though, probably a little more than EMCC would like, allowing 348 yards per contest to their opponents, 127 of those on the ground, 221 through the air. That's a look at the statistical comparison for EMCC and Holmes.
Guided by 7th-year head coach Jeff Kuntz, the 4-1 Bulldogs fell from number 3 to number 15 after the loss to number 11 Northwest last Thursday in Goodman. They're currently ranked atop the national team statistic leaders in rushing yards, as I mentioned, and you talked about 388 per game, 4th in rushing touchdowns with 19. Holmes opened the current campaign with consecutive wins over East Central Mississippi and at Southwest. They put up 67 points on Southwest on the road. Did win just 29-0 at Mississippi Delta. The field was under wet conditions, so it was kind of a sloppy night for Holmes. Coahoma, they won by 10, 30-20 in Goodman before stubbing their toe against Northwest last week, 33-13. So they come in here on a losing streak by a game, which I guess you wouldn't really call it a losing streak, but Holmes definitely wanting to get back at EMCC. This is a team that I mentioned, guys, has really played Holmes, EMCC. I thought they were getting ready for the national anthem, so I beg your pardon for being distracted. But they've always come out here and fought hard. I don't care if it's here in Scooba, Mississippi, or if it's in Goodman, and sometimes even the score is not a very good indicator of sometimes how the game goes on, especially in the first half. But we know you got to play for 4 quarters. But tonight, Glenn Beard, Holmes is going to bring in a lot of confidence here to Scooba, Mississippi, and what they want to do, ball control. Buddy Stevens said it. If they win the toss, they're taking the football, and sometimes their drives may eat up about 5 minutes on the clock. And the way EMCC has struggled as of late against the rush, tonight could be an interesting night.
You're exactly right. Jason, this right there under the speaker, but you're exactly right. They are a keep-away offense, and they're similar to facing a wing team type offense. They can chew up the whole clock before you know it. You might not get 2 possessions and a half.
All right, Glenn, you might want to transfer to the other side of the field because, I mean, we could barely hear you, so we apologize for that. I think we talked about it being kind of a wing tee offense, and it's one of those that kind of bores you to sleep maybe a little bit defensively, and then all of a sudden they pop you with that big play, and that's something that Buddy Stevens said you're going to have to watch out for tonight. When we return, we'll have further about Holmes Community College and this matchup with EMCC. We'll also maybe have the national anthem played for you live if we make it back in time. The coin toss is coming up, plus keys to the game from Charlie Winfield and Glenn Beard as we inch closer to kickoff of this anticipated matchup between two North Division good teams this year in 2017. This is the EMCC Radio Network.
Linebacker from Newnan, Georgia, number 34, Emmanuel Bridges. Linebacker from Wayne County High School, number 33, Tyree Evans. Defensive back from Baldwin High School, number 23, Duke Upshaw. Defensive back from Wayne County High School, number 44, Denzel Bonner. Defensive back from Starkville High School, number 9, Jaquez Akins. Defensive back from Charleston High School, number 6, Ty Williams. On special teams, the kicker from Van Cleve High School, number 30, Taylor Crabtree. The punter from Biloxi High School, number 26, Grayson Pontius. The holder from Madison Central High School, number 24, Braden Boykin. The long snapper from Grenada High School, number 46, Raleigh Wood IV. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise for the invocation delivered today by Charles Bulldog Coggins, member of the EMCC Sports Hall of Fame and pastor of Smithfield United Methodist Church. After the invocation, please remain standing for the national anthem, performed tonight by the Mighty Lion Band, under the direction of Mr. Steve Stringer.
Let's pray, please. Father, Lord, we thank you for this time right now, this day. We acknowledge who you are, creator of all things, Lord and our Savior. Father, we uplift the players tonight that be free of injury. And Father, we thank you for these institutions that's dedicated to these young people. And Father, later as we travel to our homes, we uplift traveling mercies for all of us as we're returning to our personal dwellings. Again, Father, we thank you for this day and this time. We pray this now in Jesus' name. Amen.
The performing of the national anthem by the Mighty Lion Marching Band here in Scuba, Mississippi, as we're getting set for kickoff. It's been a great atmosphere so far. Not a lot of fans across the way coming from Goodman, Mississippi, but folks are starting to settle in their seats. We're seeing folks come in through the gates right now as we speak. Also see some brake lights from time to time as folks are pulling in, getting ready for this kickoff, which is coming up in less than 7 minutes. Charlie Winfield joining me here in the booth. Charlie, when you look at EMCC and you look at Holmes Community College, there's a couple of things that you want to look at on both sides of the ball. We're going to start first on offense with EMCC with the football versus Holmes defense. Let's say you win the kickoff, you get the ball first. What is your goal? Obviously, you're going to want to score. Do you want to score in a hurry, keep doing what you're doing, which Buddy Stevens says their offense more than likely will do, or do you want to try to maybe play a little ball control sometimes yourself? I guess maybe after you see Holmes get the ball first, maybe depending on what they do, it just as the game goes on, maybe your game plan changes. I don't know.
No, I don't care one bit what Holmes does on offense. And when I say that, I think the key is not caring. And let me give you an example. If you come out and you see Holmes hold the ball, hold the ball, hold the ball, sometimes as an offense, you've been sitting, you've been waiting, and you're ready to get out there. And sometimes I think you kind of press. You feel rushed a little bit because you've been waiting. I think the thing is you have to put their offensive possessions completely out of your mind, and you have to do what you normally do. You got to be you, so to speak. And I think that's the key. I think it's a good question. But for me, the key is you got to establish the identity. You don't let the opponent dictate it to you.
Now, EMCC, when they are on defense out there, obviously you got to play, gap assignment, discipline football, and it's kind of difficult to do. Even though you've seen this offense a couple of years now, especially these sophomores, they saw it last year, they know what to expect.
Sorry, Jason. Yeah, going back to that defensive issue, for me, the thing is, boy, and I think Glenn really hit on this, you do have to play that assignment football. You have to stay in your gaps. I think the big thing for me isn't so much, looking back at last year, obeying those functions up front. It's staying disciplined even back off the line of scrimmage. When we think about gap discipline,
right?
I think Glenn hit it on the head, though. You got to have coverage discipline, too, because if you're a safety and you start peeking in the backfield and coming up, you're going to have a tight end or a slot guy running right past you, and that's a big gain right down the middle. And don't forget, too, this is a team that likes to get backs out of the backfield, wheel routes and the like. The defensive backs, the back four, also are going to have to stay disciplined.
Glenn, 12 different guys have run the football for Holmes this year, and there's two guys that's going to go back and forth at quarterback if needed. Josh Dodd, of course, is the starter, sophomore from Kosciuszko, but he's backed up by Jesse Wilson, a 5'8", 195 freshman from Vicksburg. And I think a lot of people probably look at him and say, man, he's sort of undersized at quarterback, but he's run their offense very, very well. So he's somebody, another dimension that EMCC and Cliff Collins defensively have got to look for tonight, because Josh West, the play-by-play announcer for Holmes, was telling me this kid can play, and he said he wants to know my opinion on him after the game because he thinks we're going to be impressed.
Well, Jason, we know Josh. He thinks everybody can play, but that kid, he's ideal. He is absolutely ideal for what they do. He's 5'8". They're not wanting to throw the football. They're wanting to play hide and seek with the football, and that's what they do with him, and they do it very well. Because he's 5'8", he is way below the height. You can't see him behind there, and you can't tell who has the football, and that's what they want to do with it. And when you have a guy like that that's so shifty and runs so well, it's another running back with the football, but at the same time they're playing hide and seek, so you got to find it.
All right, thank you, Glenn, for that report. The captains are about to meet at midfield, so we're going to take it down to Glenn again shortly, as he's going to have the coin toss for us as we're inching closer to kickoff. 3 minutes and 52 seconds to be exact.
Yeah, Jason, I thought you raised a good point earlier, too, talking about something as simple as the coin toss. And, a lot of times EMCC plays these football games, and they know that they're going to get the football either way. If they win, they're going to get the toss. If they lose, the other team's going to defer, and they'll get the football anyway. This is going to be kind of an interesting coin toss. Both these teams want the football for very different reasons. EMCC wants the football, and they want to get it down the field in a hurry. Holmes wants the football, and they want to take their time moving down the field.
Captains for Holmes and the captains for EMCC are meeting right now. Aaron Boatwright, Walter Barnes, Raleigh Wood, and Tyree Evans out there for EMCC. We'll tell you Holmes captains in a moment, but right now let's go down to the field to Glenn Beard for tonight's coin toss.
Thanks, Jason. Let's listen in as head referee Bo Bell gives instructions.
Same way we got on this side, okay? Yes, sir. Now, who's going to call it over here? All right. Got a coin here. Heads on this side, tails on this side. What's going to be your choice? Heads. Heads. He calls heads. It is dark. It is heads. You won the toss. You want to defer to the second half? Y'all want the football.
Surprisingly, Jason, Holmes won the football and has deferred to the second half, giving East Mississippi the football first. They'll take the football, and won
the toss. We defer to the second half. Kick from the north end.
They will kick to the clock. So, Jason, no KFC for you tonight.
Wow, that's surprising. Thank you, Glenn, by the way, for the report. That's surprising that Holmes, as Glenn mentioned, deferred, because as Buddy Stevens was telling me, when they win the toss, they're always going to take the football.
Well, I was going to say I was wrong, but at least I was wrong with the head coach. And so if you're
that is surprising.
Going to be wrong, at least go with the coach. And But, so, Jason, go back to your question earlier. What does that mean for EMCC? It means you're going to get to do what you're used to doing here at home. You're going to get the football. You're going to have a chance to go down the field and score.
The captains for Holmes, Josh Dodd, Veda King, also Jarius Gooch, Michael Simmons, and Brian Fowler, as the Mighty Lion Band will come back out as they always part the way, kind of like the Red Sea parting as the captains walked in midfield. They'll play Washington Lee and swing here momentarily. Holmes coming out onto the field now as we speak. They're coming from that southwest end zone and crossing the field to go across the way. They're going to be wearing their traditional road white jerseys, white pants with the 2 maroon stripes on either side and the maroon helmets. And they'll have the word dogs written across each side. And from up here, it kind of looks like, you mentioned Oklahoma as far as the uniforms, but in a way, Arkansas because of the logo on the side. They've kind of got a lighter maroon, but more of probably, I guess, an Oklahoma color, but it looks like the sacred pig, as they call it up in Fayetteville, on either side at times, depending on where they are on the field. Now, EMCC is walking out to the field. They're about to run through the dry ice or the smoke or whatever you want to call it, the fog, here in just a moment. But they're going to be wearing their black jerseys, black pants, chrome numbers, and they've got chrome helmets with black face masks, and they've got a chrome EM on each side. We can see the jersey number somewhat, but the chrome EM from this distance, you cannot. But I'll tell you what, those helmets look snazzy as the lights are reflecting off of them tonight, and we're less than 30 seconds away from kickoff here in Scuba, Mississippi. Let's go back down on the field one more time to Glenn Beer. Let's get his keys to the game for EMCC. Glenn?
Jason, you have to do what you do. You cannot turn the football over because you might not get another chance at it. So you got to minimize the turnovers, have the big plays on special teams, big returns whenever possible, and defense has to play assignment football.
Thank you, Glenn. The teams are locking arms, or at least the team for EMCC swaying back and forth as they run out onto the field now. And the EMCC is going to get a standing ovation, and we'll check in with Glenn Beard here in just a little bit. We apologize for some of the static and some issues that we're being told we're having technically, so have a little bit of interference here at the field tonight. They put 15 minutes up on the clock, and we're getting set for kickoff. In case you're just joining us, the Holmes Bulldogs won the toss but deferred to the second half, so EMCC will receive the football, and they'll be taking it down the field from right to left. So coming out to kick this one away, Connor McKay, a 5'10", 190-pound freshman from Madison, Mississippi, and the kick return men of Mike Williams and Kirk Merritt here momentarily will go out onto the field. Right now, Buddy Stevens at midfield going over some final instructions with his kick return team, and this top 15 battle is just moments away from being underway here at Sullivan Wyndham Field. EMCC with a 26-game winning streak here in Scuba, Mississippi. Only one loss to its credit since this place opened in 2011. That wasn't even a regular season game. That was in the playoffs against Colin. Back deep to receive Kirk Merritt. Kirk Merritt is going to stand around the 10-yard line. As EMCC awaits this McKay kick. He's got at the 35 and will be kicking from left to right. The music fades and the right leg gets up under the football, and it's a high end over in kick short, taken at the 19-yard line over on the other side by EMCC across the 25, and getting close to the 27-yard line is the up back for EMCC. So we're just underway here in Scuba, Mississippi. Making the tackle is going to be Jaquil Green on special teams.
So at the 29-yard line to start their opening drive as the Lions take the field, Jason, moving right to left. And they're going to go 3 wides, of course. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of different looks we get in the backfield tonight. How much will we see Tyrell Price, and how much will we see Jamori Mark?
And as Buddy Stevens mentioned earlier, we will see a lot of Jamori Mark tonight. Starting the football game will be Tyrell Price, but as mentioned, he was banged up in practice, hurt his shoulder this past week. Obviously, it's nothing that's going to keep him out of this game because he's in the backfield along with Lindsey Scott Jr., who's going to be in the shotgun. Ball's going to be near the 29-yard line on the far hash. Snap, gives to Tyrell Price, goes up the middle. He's hit hard but stays on his feet. Now drugged down by the second man and going to get about a yard on, or 2 actually, up to the 31-yard line, making the play as Vada King. So it's going to bring up now 2nd down and 8 after the 2-yard gain. And EMCC's ready to snap it again. 4-man front for Holmes. The snap from their own 31. Tunnel screen near side. It's called by Dory McLaurin. He's got some real estate out across the 40, out across the 45, and he's going to be drugged down around the 46-yard line as he went up the near hash. And EMCC is about 3 yards away from being into Holmes territory. Quindarius Whitley will make the stop. So it's first down, EMCC, and 10 to go from their own 47 officially. Scott's going to get the handoff, bust right up the middle. He's going to be in Holmes territory down to about the 47. So it's going to be a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up now 2nd and 4. Byron Fowler, is going to make the tackle for the Bulldogs.
Fowler on the tackle.
Twin receivers either side. Ball placed on the near hash. Scott in the shotgun takes the snap, screen pass right side, and it's caught. And getting inside the 40 down to about the 37-yard line is the ball carrier, which is, of course, going to be the starter, and that is Tyrell Price. Darwin King is going to make the tackle for Holmes. Trip receivers here to the near side, wide side of the field. First down, 10 to go from the Holmes 37. Penalty flag now as the ball is snapped.
There is a flag.
And it's going to be a false start on EMCC, and committing the infraction is going to be Matt Tolles from his left guard position out of Lafayette County High School. That's going to back up EMCC 5 yards. And Glenn touched on it, Charlie. You just can't have pre-snap penalties and also turn this ball over. You can't get behind the sticks.
Well, that's certainly been a problem at times this season. They're going to. It's one of those things you talked about, Jason, wanting to clean up.
So from their own 41 after the 5-yard penalty, inside handoff going down the near hash, or far hash, I should say, is going to be Tyrell Price. So Price is going to get most of those yards back and then some. A 6-yard gain as Brent Price is going to make the stop.
2nd and 9.
Yeah, nothing fancy, just a straight ahead give, but gets them in a good 2nd down after the penalty.
So Scott with the snap, and he's going to float it near side of the screen pass to Tyrell Price, and he's going to try to stop and cut and get away from a defender, but can't as he gets down to about the 36-yard line, and it was Shepard Jones who was at juke that time, so no gain on the play. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 9 for EMCC with trip receivers wide side of the field to the right.
Nice play that time by the defensive end. Jadarius Hooks forced that pass to go a little high.
Scott back to pass, fires it over on the right side, and it is caught. First down inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line, and staying in bounds as the clock will run.
That's a big-time throw that time by Lindsey Scott. That ball has to travel quite a ways across the field, and he just showed a nice arm.
Calvin Keys Jr. with the reception, screen pass to the near side, and getting down to about the 20-yard line is the ball carrier for EMCC, and that's going to be Calvin Keys Jr. once again. So it's going to be a gain of 4, bring up 2nd down and 6. Jadarius Hooks will knock him off his feet for the Holmes Bulldogs. 12-20, 12-19, clock rolling here in the first quarter. EMCC with their opening possession. 2nd down and medium. The snap from the 20, and it's a throwback out in the flat over on the right side, and it is caught by EMCC, and that's going to be Kirk Merritt. He's going to get down to about the 15. He's going to be just shy of the 1st down, so it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 1, Charlie. Making the tackle is going to be Lorenzo McCaskill.
Well, now you're in a good situation. 3rd down and short. You've got Tyrell Price in the ball game, and I wouldn't hesitate to hand him the football.
3rd and 1.
Here's the snap. They do hand it to Price. Price tries to cut back up the middle and is going to get the 1st down as he gets down inside the 15 down to about the 13-yard line. Tyshawn Spencer will make the tackle. So that'll move the chains. EMCC with a fresh set of downs. Ball middle of the field. Scott ready to snap it. Floats it over on the right side. Caught by Price on the screen pass. Makes one man miss at the 10. And they're going to knock him out of bounds just shy of the 5-yard line, somewhere around the 6. And it's going to be a gang tackle, but Brent Price is going to lead the charge for Holmes.
Well, EMCC has seen something they like because they are really trying to get the football on passes to the running backs in the flats.
And the snap and the handoff, but there's a timeout called, I believe, yes. And Holmes is going to call the timeout. They want to talk about it, so we're going to take the 30-second break with them. 11:26 to go, opening quarter. 2nd down and 3. The ball placed at the Holmes 6-yard line for EMCC. This is the EMCC Radio Network.
EMCC takes a 7-0 lead, and it was an impressive drive. It covered 71 yards, 15 plays, 4 minutes, 36 seconds, and Tyrell Price just capped it off. He went straight ahead, plunged it across the end zone, and the Lions will kick the football off.
Sanchez Berry will be back deep to receive, standing middle of the field inside the 10, and Grayson Pontius with a high end over end kick. It's going to be angling near side, taken near side, inside the 5, out across the 10, 15, 20, middle of the field, trying to bounce to the outside. It's the Holmes return man, and that is going to be Caleb Roebuck, a freshman running back from Sylvania, Alabama. Nice return as he gets out to the 21-yard line. That's going to be a return of about 16 yards. Braden Boykin is going to trip him up on special teams. Glenn Beard, that was a nice drive by EMCC, and it kind of was
return to the 21-yard
getting into the end zone once they got into the red zone. But Tyrell Price with his 12th touchdown of the season, showing some power.
Yes, he was, Jason. Let's see what they do on defense.
Twin receivers here to the near side. We'll check back in with Glenn in a moment. Here's the snap, and the quarterback's going to keep it himself. He didn't have anybody to pitch it to, or at least faked it. He's going to get 4 yards up to about the 25-yard line. That is Josh Dodd, the 6'1", 210 freshman from Kosciuszko, sophomore, I beg your pardon, from Kosciuszko. Cole Becker will make the stop. We'll see how much clock Holmes wants to eat up here. It's going to be a 2nd down and 6 now. 9:51, 9:50 clock rolling first quarter. 7-0 EMCC. This is the first time Holmes has touched the football. Going up under center once again is Dodd. We'll take the snap. We'll leave it with his tailback who goes straight up the gut, and that is going to be Cameron Brent, the sophomore tailback from Lawrenceville, Georgia, and he's going to be just shy of the first down by about 2 yards, actually. They're going to stomp him around the 29-yard line, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 2.
Well, the key to defending an offense like this is you have to stop the number 1 play that they have, and that's the dive play up the middle. Let's see if it comes here on 3rd down and about 2 to go.
Gentry with the stop for EMCC, 3rd and 2, and they are going to keep it with Dodd. Now he's going to pitch it, and he's going to be tripped up. And I think, once again, that is going to be his tailback, who is going to be Brent, who's going to be I think they're going to say he did get the first down, so it's going to be a 1st down, 10 to go, got up to the 31. I think that's a very generous spot, Glenn.
Absolutely, Jason. He slipped down. I thought he was going to be just a little bit short, but Bo Bell, the head referee, signals 1st down, so it gives them a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 for Holmes on the 31-yard line.
Dodd up under center. We'll have a single receiver here at the numbers of the near side. Spotted the football, their own 31. He's going to pitch it, and it's going to go over on the left side, and taking the football that time, I believe it's going to be Rashad Pittman.
Yeah, that was Sanchez Berry that time, the right side. I call him a wing back. They call him the B backs and the A backs. He looks like a wing back to me. Kind of set up out by the right tackle, and they just gave it to him, trying to get a little speed toss that time. He's going to lose a couple of yards, and the defensive end on the backside for EMCC that time did a nice job staying at home, forcing that pitch a little deeper than Holmes wanted.
So it was 16, not 18, I beg your pardon. Dodd up under center will take the snap and fake it to Sanchez, and he's looking to go down the field, and he is going to be hit and dropped for a sack back at the 25-yard line. EMCC gets to him, and they're playing behind the sticks now.
Well, and Dodd just kind of lost his footing that time. He was trying to step up in the pocket, got a little bit of pressure, and was trying to make a cut, just lost his footing. That's the 2nd time in 3 plays that we have seen a player with the football for Holmes just lose their footing and go to the ground.
Eric Kitchen is going to be credited with the sack. 7-0 Holmes, or excuse me, EMCC. Holmes with the football at their own 25-yard line. Dodd up under center is now going to fake the give. He's going to pitch it to his tailback, who goes around the left side, and he may get back to the original line of scrimmage. And that is once again going to be Sanchez. So it's going to bring up now a 4th down and long. So Berry can't get the 1st down yardage needed. Emmanuel Bridges with the tackle, and that's going to bring out the punter, Bo Johnson.
This is an offense that is not built to play from behind the sticks. And anytime you get them in a long down and distant situation, it can really cause difficulty.
A late substitution for Holmes on special teams. Holmes doesn't punt much. In 5 games, just 14 punts for Bo Johnson, 35.1-yard average. As Merritt will stand back near his own 30-yard line. High snap, pulled down at the 20-yard line and getting his right leg into it, and it's a nice kick. Merritt's going to return it to 35 up across the 40, middle of the field. Now he's going to get across midfield into Holmes territory, and he's going to be tackled finally inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
Well, Glenn, what do we talk about all the time in the punting game? It's not so much how far it travels, in that case over 30 yards. It's net punting. That's a net punt of about 13 yards when you look at the return.
Yeah, you have to hang it up high. That punt had no height on it whatsoever, which allowed an athlete like Merritt to get an absolutely great return, and he just powered straight up the middle through the return.
34-yard return for Merritt. The snap from inside the 45-yard line of Holmes for EMCC. Screen pass on the right side. It's complete. And getting it down to the 36-yard line, that's going to be Jamori Mark, the tailback out of the backfield, who's going to get about 8 yards. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 2 down to the 36 of Holmes. Chris Marshall will make the tackle. So 2nd and 2, 6:42 to go first quarter. Screen pass to Mark here on the near side after the snap, and he's going to be tackled for a loss back at the 38-yard line. So it's going to be a loss of a couple on the play, a loss of about 2. So it's going to bring up now a 3rd down and 2. Jonathan Ware with the tackle for the Bulldogs. Ball is going to be placed on the near hash. Twin receivers either side. Mark to the right of Scott. Scott will snap it from the 38-yard line and fire it far seam. Caught inside the 35, enough for a 1st down, and close to the 31-yard line. And making the receptions, Daniel Kroll Jr. with 6:06 to go in the first quarter. It's going to move the chains. Quindarius Whitley will knock him off his feet.
Nice job that time by Kroll, making the catch and then just getting straight upfield, picking up the 1st down.
So from the 30 of Holmes, another rainbow screen pass to Mark over on the right side. Tries to get the corner and can't over by the sideline. He's going to get about a yard on the play, down to the 29-yard line. Knocking him out of bounds, Whitley once again. 2nd down and 9 for EMCC. This is their 2nd offensive possession. Up 7-0 already inside the Holmes 30. The snap from the 29, play action, firing it near side and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, which is Calvin Keys Jr. at the 26-yard line. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and long.
And if I'm not mistaken, Jason, I think that's the first incomplete pass of the night for EMCC. Scott had completed 10 in a row to start the ball game, and then goes incomplete on the 11th, and he hit his receiver with it.
So 3rd down and 9 to go from the 29. Ball on the right hash, moving from right to left, and the pocket collapses, but getting rid of it, and it is caught by EMCC inside the 25, diving down to the 21 is Mike Williams, and it's not going to be enough for the 1st down, so it's going to bring up now a 4th down and 2 situation from the 22-yard line.
Nice job that time by the quarterback, Scott, staying in the pocket to the last possible minute, giving his receiver time to clear and pick up yardage.
King with the tackle again. The snap from the 22 on 4th and 2. Firing it over the middle, and it's caught inside the 5. Touchdown, EMCC. Oh, my goodness. Mike Williams with a touchdown reception. It's 13-0, pending the PAT.
Yeah, just a little post route that time. Got Williams right at the goal line. Made a very nice catch, and, well, that's not necessarily what I would have expected on short yardage, but the Lions go with the unexpected, pick up the touchdown.
The 11th touchdown toss of the year for Lindsey Scott Jr., finding Mike Williams into the end zone. First touchdown through the air tonight. We'll await the PAT. It's going to be attempted once again by Taylor Crabtree, and it's a beautiful PAT right through the uprights. 14-0 EMCC, 5:01 to go here in the first quarter. Back in 30 to Scuba. This is the EMCC Football Network.
.501 to go in the first quarter. The Lions of EMCC have taken a 14-0 lead. They did it on the ground for their first points. They go to the air for the 2nd touchdown as the Lions convert. On 4th down and 2, score the touchdown with Mike Williams. And they will be on the field to kick off. The Lions taking advantage of their first 2 possessions.
Mike Williams' 4th touchdown reception of the season, the 11th for Lindsey Scott thrown, and it's going to be taken at the goal line by Roebuck, out across the 5 near hash, tries to go around to the far seam, gets across the 15-yard line, and he's going to be hit hard around the 16, and that's where he's going to be stopped. They're going to officially say the 17-yard line with forward progress. So a 17-yard return for Roebuck, and that's where Holmes will start. Ball is going to be placed on the left hash. They're moving left to right. 4:52 to go in the first quarter. 14-0 EMCC.
Well, you know, you look at a guy like Roebuck, and you can tell he's a good athlete, but the thing you've got to do on a kickoff return is get up the field. He keeps wanting to run laterally,
Zigzag, yeah.
and that will not help you against this Lion speed.
Don's going to take the snap. He's going to keep it himself, faked it. As far as giving it to Brent, he's going to take it straight up the gut, and he's going to get out around the 24-yard line. So he's going to pick up about 7 yards in the play, and that's going to bring up now a 2nd and 3. Denzel Bonner will come up and make the tackle.
Yeah, he got an injured player on the play. That's the right guard, Chris Dye, a sophomore out of Greenville, and he just got caught up in that scrum that time. There was just kind of a big push going up the middle. You had running backs, the quarterback, and everybody else, but Chris Dye was the guy that time, got tangled up a little bit, and they're going to have to check him out.
We'll give you scores coming up in just a bit. Oklahoma is on the road at Northwest tonight. We'll be at Northwest next week with a 6:30 kick. That game obviously already underway. Capaya Lincoln at home versus Hines. East Central's on the road at Jones County tonight. Itawamba hosting Northeast Mississippi. Boy, that's a big rivalry right there. Mac JC North play. Mississippi Gulf Coast is hosting Mississippi Delta tonight. And Pearl River on Saturday at 5 p.m. will be at Southwest Mississippi. So a Saturday kickoff, and it may be a wet one down in Southwest Mississippi as we're expecting some rain from a possible hurricane that may hit Mississippi, but that's just computer models saying that at this point. 14-0 EMCC, the #1 ranked team of the country on top of 15th ranked Holmes. And it looks as if our injured Holmes Bulldog, as you said, Chris Dye, 6'3", 285 out of Greenville, he is being helped off by 2 trainers for Holmes, so we certainly hope that young man's going to be okay. The 24-yard line is the spot of the football. 7-yard gain by the quarterback, Josh Dodd, on the keeper up the middle. So it's going to bring up now a 2nd and 3, and this is more to Holmes' liking. If they could get 3 or 4 yards per play, boy, their offense is really set. Leading the nation in yards on the ground per game, nearly 400, 388 to be exact. So it's 2nd down, 3 to go. Dodd will take the snap back to pass for the first time, fires it complete, 31-yard line over on the far sideline, and making the reception is going to be Cavante Younger, and he's going to be pushed out by 2 EMCC Lions led by Duke Upshaw, and it's the first down of the night for the Holmes Bulldogs. And the spot of the football officially will be around the 35-yard line, their own 35, ball placed on the left hash. So Dodd and his offense will break huddle. Come up to the line of scrimmage. Dodd's going to be up under center. He's going to take the snap, play action, back to pass, plenty of protection, fires it deep down the field, and he's going to overshoot everybody at the 30-yard line. Younger is wanting a pass interference call, and we get a penalty flag that flies, and it's more than likely going to be the call.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a good call. I don't know whether that was ever going to be a catchable ball, but what you had that time was Younger just kind of got held around the 35 and never had a chance to go make a play on the football.
Well, Glenn, you talked about how EMCC in the secondary was going to have to be prepared for the big play in the passing game, and a little too prepared that time.
Yeah, Duke just
First down, Holmes
gave
at the
up a
50-yard
step
line.
there and was having to play catch-up. And wisely, you know, that wasn't necessarily a bad one if the quarterback throws it on money.
Spotted the football at midfield, a little trickeration on the reverse and taking it around the left side. Plenty of real estate down the far sideline, inside 35, inside 30, 25, 20. Still on his feet, tripped up inside the 15-yard line. It's going to be close to the 10, and that ball carrier is going to be one of the receivers. That's Stephen Burdett, who's a sophomore from Senatobia, Mississippi, and that's going to be a first down, 10 to go. Spot of the football is going to be the 11 of EMCC. Big play right there for Holmes. Duke Upshaw with another tackle on this defensive series. 3:47 to go here in the opening quarter. 14-0, the hometown Lions on top. Dodd's going to be up under center again. Dodd from the 11 will take the snap. He's going to try to go around the left side, fakes the pitch, keeps it himself, and he's going to be around the 10-yard line when the dust settles, maybe down inside the 10 just a little bit. So Dodd on the quarterback keeper left in. And it's going to bring up now a 2nd and 9. So he gained 1 down to the 10-yard line.
Nice job that time by the Lions. They got good pursuit. Even though Dodd made a guy miss when he tried to cut it up, there were plenty of other Lions there. That'll bring up 2nd down and 9 at around the 10-yard line. 9
rushes for 58 yards for Holmes. Snap from the 10. They're going to leave it on the ground and trying to spin out of a tackle inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line. It's going to be Cameron Brent, the 5'9", 210-pounder from Lawrenceville, Georgia. And he's not going to get much. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and long situation, maybe a yard, depending on the spot of the football. It looks like they're going to spot it down to the 8, so we got 2 on the play. Emmanuel Bridges will make the tackle, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. 1-yard gain by Don, 2-yard gain by Brent. So they can get a 1st down inside the 1. Dodd's going to tap the right hip of his center. And now we have a whistle and a stoppage of play, and it looks like Holmes, they're saying East Mississippi's going to call the timeout. The official indicated the wrong team, though, when he said it. 14-0 EMCC on top back in 30 seconds. This is the EMCC Radio Network. And back here in Scuba, Mississippi, it's a 3rd down and 7 to go from the 8-yard line of EMCC for the Bulldogs of Holmes. So Holmes knocking on that south end zone door. And Josh Dodd and his offense come from across the way. There's the EMCC defense. We'll have a 4-man front. With 2:29 to go in the first quarter, EMCC up by 2 touchdowns. So we'll wait the snap from the 8. They send a man in motion. From far side to near, here's the snap, looking near side, pump fake, now steps up in the pocket, fires it to the goal line, almost picked off by EMCC. And EMCC will force a 4th down situation, 4th and 7 from the 8. And it looks as if it's going to be a field goal attempt for Holmes, which is smart, down 14-0. They need to get some points on the board. Connor McKay, who's 2 for 4 on the year, long of 40 yards. Will attempt a 25-yarder, ball placed on the left hash. He's a right-hander, right-handed. I guess we'll say right-footed in this situation. High snap, pulled down by the holder. Here's the kick, and about middle of the uprights, goes through them, and it's good. And Holmes is on the board. 14-3 is our score. EMCC on top with 2:18 to go in the opening quarter. Back in 30 seconds with the kick to the Lions. This is the EMCC Radio Network.
It was a 7-play drive, covered 75 yards in 2 minutes and 34 seconds. But once the Bulldogs get into the red zone, the Lions of EMCC able to clamp down, force the field goal in 4. Holmes, Connor McKay will be on the field to kick off.
And he'll be kicking it to Mike Williams or Kirk Merritt, or if he chooses, neither one. But they'll both stand on the 10-yard line. We'll see if they do that sky kick once again, coming up on the football and kicking it. And it's a low kick that's going to be taken at the 10-yard line, and slipping down is the return man, Mike Williams. He slips down at the 10-yard line, and nobody within 10 or 15 yards of him.
Well, Glenn, that's the 3rd time we have seen a player with the football basically fall down tonight. What's the playing field like?
Guys, it's as you know, it's turf and it's not wet. It's dry as can be. I don't know the issue with the footing. You know, it's just one of those crazy things. You know, that was a terribly low kick, very returnable.
So Reginald Hunter Jr. in at tailback as Scott takes a snap, split screen right side, caught out across the 15-20, staying on his feet 25-30 and drugged down from behind and making the reception. It looks like that's Brandon Rogers who's going to give EMCC a first down. Brandon Rogers taken off his feet by Brent Price.
Nice job running the football after the catch that time. Gets it out to the 32-yard line and gets EMCC out away from its own goal line.
Gain of 22, hit at the backfield and dropped. Oh my goodness. And that's Reginald Hunter Jr. who's going to be dropped at the 28-yard line. So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 14, loss of 4. Spot of the football was the 32.
Yeah, and that's Brillon Fowler, a freshman defensive lineman. And boy, he was in the right place at the right time for Holmes.
Holmes has that 4-man front, snap from their own 28, firing it near side, and it is caught by Drummond. Slips one tackle, can't slip the other. Between the numbers and the sideline is going to get up to the 35-yard line, so that's going to get back the yardage loss. Quindarius Whitley will make the stop, but quickly it's a 3rd down for EMCC, 3rd down and 8 after the 7-yard gain. So from their own 35 near hash, Scott in the shotgun takes a snap. Plenty of protection. Rolls to his right. Scott's just going to keep it. Scott cross 35, 40. He's going to walk out of bounds at the first down marker up around the 42-yard line.
Tell you what, though, Jason, you mentioned the protection that time. It was really good for a time, particularly on the left side of that offensive front. They saw Holmes trying to run some twists and some different looks at them, but the left tackle that time actually blocked 2 separate guys.
So a gain of 8 by Scott, who receives the snap from their own 42, fires it, and it goes into the ground at the feet of the intended receiver, which was Mike Williams.
Scott's pass was thrown into
And so it's 2nd down and 10. 57 seconds to go in the first quarter.
2nd and 10.
Ball actually on the 43-yard line. I beg your pardon. I said 42, meant 43. That was the yardage needed, or the yard line needed to get the first down. Snap from their own 43. Scott looks right, looks back left, looks back to the right side, now running for his life. Rolls to the near side. He's going to tuck it and keep it. Goes up the hash, and he's in Bulldog territory as the first down. Back-to-back first downs for Lindsey Scott Jr. on quarterback keepers, and he's going to get down to the 46-yard line. Whitley will make the stop again for the Bulldogs. And the Lions are in business now with 45 seconds to go first quarter, up 14-3.
I want to give credit to Jacoby Jones, the left tackle, doing a great job blocking that time against the defensive lineman Chavez Embry. Embry, a big guy out of Eupora. Jones holding his own.
Ball middle of the field at the 46. Great protection again, firing it underneath, caught by Calvin Keys Jr. He's going to get inside the 40 and go to the far sideline. He's going to be near the first down. I think he's going to be just shy of the first down markers. They're going to place the ball at the 37-yard line. Calvin Keys Jr. is going to go out of bounds on the crossing route. 2nd down and 1. Scott with the snap, going to leave it in the belly of his tailback, Reginald Hunter Jr. And it's going to get inside the 35 and for first down to the 34. Nice between the tackles run for the freshman. Making the stop is going to be Brian Matthews for Holmes.
Hunter Jr., the ball carrier.
Ball placed once again middle of the field at the 34-yard line of the Bulldogs. EMCC facing a 4-man front. Scott with the snap back to pass. Wings it near side on the screen pass to Reginald Hunter Jr. And he's going to step out of bounds inside the 30, somewhere around the 27-yard line.
And that, Jason, is going to take us to the end of the first quarter. So going pretty much the way the Lions would want. They leave it 14-3. We'll take a break. Be back in a moment. You're listening to the EMCC Football Radio Network.
Well, the line of scrimmage was the 27-yard line. EMCC with a completed pass inside the 10-yard line. Calvin Keys Jr. takes it at the 7-yard line. First down and goal to go for EMCC. Ball left hash, snap by Scott, great protection. Rolls to the right, looking, fires towards the end zone. Caught, touchdown EMCC, Kirk Merritt. Kirk Merritt with his 3rd touchdown of the season through the air. He has 4 officially, with 1 being a punt return, is put EMCC up 20-3.
Well, I'll make that one unofficial because that one's going to come back.
Yeah, holding on the right tackle there, Jason. Just hooked the defensive end and got too much jersey.
Oh, man. All right, so this one, as Glenn has reported, is coming back. EMCC had it first down, goal to go inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line. But that's going to be nullified, as EMCC now will have to play from their own 18. Excuse me, the Holmes 18. 18 yards to go to pay dirt. So still first and goal to go from the 18 for EMCC. Ball left hash again. Scott in the shotgun will take the snap. Rolls to the near side. Tries to square to throw. Finally throws and throws it out of bounds as he was being chased from behind. So it's incomplete. It's going to bring up a second down and goal to go from the Holmes 18 for EMCC.
Yeah, we've seen Holmes, Jason, give some different looks, but here down by the goal line, you know, out in the middle of the field, they were dropping their linebackers back in coverage. They've been bringing a little more pressure here. That time, Scott just flushed out of the pocket and had to get rid of it.
Tyrell Price flanked to the right of Lindsey Scott Jr., twin receivers either side. Snap from the 18 on second and goal. Back to pass, firing it over the middle, and it's tipped up in the air, incomplete inside the 10-yard line. And EMCC is going to have a third and goal from the 18 with 14 to go before halftime. We talked about it, and we've talked about it, we've talked about it. Penalties just kill drives, and EMCC more than likely is going to come away with points here, but you've put yourself now behind the 8 ball. It's third down and goal to go from the 18. Scott in the shotgun with trips wide side of the field, near side. Pocket collapses, tunnel screen, caught near side, and getting inside the 10, inside the 5, and being tripped up around the 5-yard line is going to be Daniel Kroll.
Well, that's a nice job by Kroll. He made it interesting, got it all the way down to the 5. This should be a fairly easy field goal attempt, and that is what we will see as the Lions electing to send out the kicking team. I don't blame them. It's a 14-3 game here early in the second, and you got a pretty good look. It'll be just a 22-yarder.
Yeah, 22-yard attempt, as you mentioned. And Buddy Stevens says this is the best special teams in MAC JC play, and Taylor Crabtree has not missed this season. The snap is back, the hold. Here's the kick, and it just gets through that left upright. And, no, well, they say no good. Looked like it went through to me, but guess
it
just
went
bad eyes.
wide left that time. He just left it out there, and the jinx of the broadcast kicks in as Jason Crowder sings their praises. It goes wide left.
Now we have a penalty flag fly, so there's obviously some extracurricular activity going on with things said. Glenn just went wide left, and from my vantage point, it's hard to tell, for me at least up here, what that ball does, but the officials looked at each other, thought about it a second, said no good.
Yeah, laces out, Dan, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. But penalty flag on that far side on the bench of Holmes Community College, unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's going to back them up as they had the football at the 20-yard line, their own 20.
Boy, and that's one of those perplexing penalties. You get a break, you get a stand inside the red zone, you get a missed field goal, you ought to have some momentum. But instead, you get a 10-yard penalty. Now first and 10 from your own 10 for Holmes.
Holmes with the snap with Dodd. Dodd option right side, and he's going to pitch it. And his pitch man is going to be caught inside the 10-yard line, and he's going to lose 2 on the play. And that's going to be Rashad Pittman, a 6'1" running back from Mize, Mississippi. So loss of 2, and that's going to bring up now second down. Well, officially they're going to say put 11 up on the board. It is a 2-yard loss, so it is 2nd and 12. I trust the scoreboard too much sometimes. 13 minutes to go before halftime, so it is now 2nd and 12. Spot of the football, their own 8 for Holmes. Moving from right to left. Their backs in the shadow of that south end zone. Dodd's going to go up under center. Dodd will take the snap. He's going to leave it with his tailback on the fullback dive and out across the 20. And going to get enough for a first down out across the 20 up to the 24-yard line. And once again, that is Going to be his tailback, Cameron Brent.
Yeah, and Glenn Beard, we've talked about it. The #1 rule against defending this type of offense, you got to stop the dive, and that time it was a big dive carry.
Yeah, you're right. That fullback, he's small. You can't see him, and you couldn't tell who had the football.
Snap by Dodd. Going to leave it with Brent again. This time goes off tackle on the right side. Gets out across the 30 up to about the 31-yard line. So that's going to be a gain of about 7 on the play. We'll officially call it 6 at the moment. So second down and a long 3, we'll call it. Out to the 31. It is a 7-yard gain. So 2nd and 3 with 12:01 to go before halftime. Don up under center, ball on the right hash at their own 31. Here's the snap. Going to leave it with Brent again. Goes straight up the middle, and he is just churning his legs out for a first down. That's all Brent right there as he gets up to the 35. That's going to move the chains. Needed to get to the 34, got to the 35, so that's going to be a gain of 4 on the play. Emmanuel Bridges will make the stop for EMCC. 11:45, 11:44, clock rolling. 14-3. I tell you what, if Holmes gets a long, sustained drive here, eats up a lot of clock and scores, and this is going to make this game interesting. Holmes trails now by 11.
Now, still a lot of green between them and doing that, but this Lions defense is going to have to find a way to stop that dive, to turn around that push in the middle.
Here's the snap. They leave it once again with the tailback, who's going to be hit and dropped at the line of scrimmage. Actually may have lost a half yard. And once again, that is going to be Cameron Brent. So Brent's going to be upended. So great job staying at home and EMCC being disciplined there. Jonquez Akins will make the stop for the Lions.
Yeah, anytime you can force a team into running sideways, you've got a pretty good chance with this Lions defense. That time, a really nice play by that defensive end, Everett Cunningham, freshman out of West Point.
So second down and 10 to go. Out of the football, they're on 35. After the snap, rolling right, fires it towards the first down marker, and it's going to be knocked away by Duke Upshaw. The intended receiver was Stephen Burdett, so great defense by EMCC on the rollout to the right. So it's going to be a 3rd down and 10 after no gain on the play.
Nice job by Upshaw that time, closing on the play. You know, Upshaw's a guy you really feel comfortable about over there in single coverage, and just read the play well, was in good position.
Holmes really, their offense depends on a lot of times what they get on first down. And they didn't get much, so it's now 3rd down and 10. Here's the snap, play action, back to pass, hit, and the ball's going to come out, but it's going to be forward motion, incomplete pass, and boy, he was absolutely drilled. Cole Baker in there as EMCC.
Yeah, that was
football back.
That was Dwayne Pickett, the strong side linebacker, who came on the blitz that time, and he got to Dodd right as he was wanting to throw the football, and now that doomed that play. Really nice job by Pickett.
My apologies to Pickett incorrectly identifying Cole Baker. Cole Baker was slightly injured on the play, but seems to be okay. He's out there on the punt return team. Is EMCC's Merritt's going to let it bounce to him at the 30, and he's going to pick it up. Merritt's going to try to avoid traffic and come to the near side. Merritt is going to be bottled up, but now he's going to just squirt using that speed up the near sideline. Cross 45, he's in the midfield, and he's going to be tackled from behind at the 41. How in the world did he get loose? But we have a penalty flag at the 32-yard line on EMCC side. So hold on a second, folks. Let's go to Glenn Beard on the sidelines. Did you see it, Glenn?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a block in the back, Jason. Anytime you're dancing around like that, it's hard to hold those blocks, and that's what it is.
Oh, but what a beautiful return by Kirk Merritt.
Well, if nothing else, he showed a lot of athleticism. He just put the stop on and then hit the gas. And, boy, you talk about quick acceleration.
You know, guys, that's the second time Merritt's had an outstanding play called back because of penalty.
Yep.
You can bet he's probably supposed to get into some ears.
Well, as you said, though, when you dance around like that, it's hard to hold those blocks, so they may turn around and blame Mr. Merritt for being such a fantastic athlete. So first down, 10 to go from the 22-yard line. They're on 22. Ball near hash for Lindsey Scott Jr. with twin receivers either side. Looking left, and a rainbow screen pass. They've been throwing that a lot tonight. Goes over the head of Tyrell Price. So it's incomplete, and it's going to bring up now second down and 10 with 10-12 to go here before halftime. EMCC clinging to an 11-point lead. It's 14-3 here in Scuba. EMCC with ball possession now, 2nd and 10 from their own 22. Price shifts from left to right now. Scott's going to take the ball and go straight up the middle, and he's going to get out across the 25 up to the 26-yard line. So a gain of 4 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6 situation now. McCaskill will make the stop for the Bulldogs, and it's 3rd down and 6. After the 4-yard gain, twin receivers either side, ball still near hash. Snapping it from their own 26, penalty flag flies, and whistles are going to blow. And we have a false start on EMCC, and that's something we talked about in the pregame, guys, that EMCC needed to clean up was those pre-snap penalties, and that's already 2 so far here in the first half.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we can keep that on the list for next week as well. That's going to be a work in progress, I'm afraid.
So make it 3rd down and 11 now as the spot of the football is going to be at their own 21. Man in motion from near side to far. That's Connor. Back to passes. Scott. Scott now on the slip screen and is caught by Price. And he's out across 30, 35 near sideline, 40, 45. Hurdles a man inside Bulldog territory. Gets inside the 45, down around the 43.
Well, and I wanted a flag to come down at the end of the play. Looked like a little bit of a late hit there from the defensive back, Brent Price. A little extra push on Tyrell Price, but boy, I thought that play was going to be doomed. The screen pass just kind of hung up a little bit of a rainbow, but boy, that's a great individual effort by Tyrell Price.
So Brent Price, as you mentioned, made the tackle. Down to the Bulldog 42, shotgun formation. Here's the snap by Scott. Look near side, now takes the ball himself out around the left side. Gets inside the 40 and waits for a block, and now just slides down to one knee and hops right back up. That was the weirdest slide I've ever seen, but it was effective as he gets inside the 40 down to about the 37. So it'll bring up a 2nd and medium. After the 5-yard gain. So it's now 2nd down and 5 to go. Price in the shotgun once again, twin receivers either side. Looks near side, and he's going to float it for Mark near side. Mark catches it, and he gets inside the 35 down to the 34, but falls down. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 2 situation.
Now you got to think you've got 2 plays right here at the 34-yard line, and I would be inclined to run the football.
Scott will snap it, leave it with Mark. Mark tries to go around left side. He's going to have the angle. He'll have the 1st down inside the 30, and now we've got penalty flags flying, and this one probably is going to
Mark takes the handoff.
Holding right there. Jason's going to nullify that run, back him up 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Another 3rd down penalty on EMCC.
Well, that time Price was trying to get outside to the left, and boy, that corner got sealed, but a handful of jersey might have helped that one, as that time is the left tackle, Jacoby Jones, the guy who was charged with sealing the end, who got called for the hold. And look, he was right there out on the end in plain view of the officials, so they had a good look at it. Now you take a 3rd and short, and you've got a 3rd and long.
Well, it was a 3rd and 11 the last time they got it was 3rd and short, but 3rd and 11 after the penalty on the last 3rd down. Now it's going to be 3rd and 12, and EMCC calls the timeout. And the Lions will have 1 timeout left, 8:19 to go before halftime. We'll be back in 30 seconds as EMCC talks about it. This is the EMCC Radio Network. Thank you. Want the fastest updates on what's going on with East Mississippi Athletics? Follow our EMCC Athletics social media accounts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Periscope. You can also check out the institutional accounts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And we're back now here at Sullivan Wyndham Field in beautiful Scuba, Mississippi. On a beautiful night for football, 3rd down and 12 from the 44-yard line. Back to pass, caught from behind. Oh, he slips out of it. It's Lindsey Scott, and now he's just running through defenders, and he's going to come back near side, cut down the field inside the 40, and he's going to get down to about the 36, and this will make it more of a manageable 4th down, Charlie, as he is going to be placed at the 37 after his knee goes down.
Well, and that's one of the more adventurous 8-yard gains we've ever seen. He ran about 40 or 50 yards to get that. Boy, you see the athleticism of Lindsey Scott, though, a really tough guy, and I really think he's just improved every time he's taken the field.
Second week in a row, he has avoided a sure sack. Ball near hash on 4th down, back to pass, firing it deep down the far sideline, and there was a miscommunication between his receiver, which I believe that's Drummond, the intended receiver over on the far side, and it's going to fall incomplete. And so it's going to turn the ball over on downs. So EMCC will have to come out on defense now, and Holmes is going to get relatively good field position at their own 37.
Yeah, went with a backup at left tackle on that play, Cornelius Rogers, and looks like some pressure came across that spot, got Lindsey Scott's face. He just had to get rid of it, and his receiver not on the same page. And so Holmes down 14-3, 7:35 to go in the first half. Will have good field position at their own 37.
Still an 11-point game. Roebuck in motion from near side to far. Here's the snap, and firing it deep down the field, far sideline, and it's caught, but is it in bounds? No, out of bounds. And catching the football is going to be Cavante Younger. By the way, Jesse Wilson is the quarterback. He's the backup from Vicksburg, Mississippi, 5'8", 195. And Glenn, you mentioned it when we talked about it pregame. He's really not out there to throw the football. What does he do on his first play? He rolls right and throws the football downfield. Of course, it wasn't completed in your defense. But you're exactly right. He is built for this offense, what they want to do in running the football. The small youngster gets up under center. Wilson surveys that defense, now changes the play at the line of scrimmage. Wilson will take the snap, and he's going to leave it with his tailback, who goes straight up the middle on the dive play, and boy, they'll dive you to death. And I believe that it's going to be Shepard.
Wilson was on the quarterback keeper right there, Jason. Take the dive and followed him in there. They want to get 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Well, now they're going to have on 3rd down get about 7 yards.
So Wilson up under center at their own 41, fires it towards the sticks, caught at the numbers over on the right side, and he's going to dive inside EMCC territory down to the 49-yard line.
Tell you what, that's a nice throw that time by Wilson. He just showed a strong arm in delivering that pass, and going to the air to pick up the first down is Holmes. They've got it at the 49.
So Burdett's going to make the reception. Duke Upshaw knocks him off his feet. So first down, 10 to go from the 49 of EMCC. Ball's going to be placed on the right hash. Wilson up under center will take the snap, play action. He drops back to pass. He's going to be hit, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield and sacked back at the 49-yard line. And a plethora of young men for the defensive front. Aaron Boatwright along with Aaron Kitchen back there.
Yeah, Kitchen, the first guy back there, did a good job of blowing that play up. It's going to lose about 3 yards. Going to bring up, I'll call it 2nd down and 12 now, back at the 49 on the Lions side of the field.
Dwayne Pickett was back there as well, so it's now 2nd down and 12. Under 6 minutes to play, first half. Here's the snap by Wilson. He's going to option near side. He's going to keep it, and he's going to cut downfield between the numbers and the hash. Going to get inside the 45 down to about the 43-yard line. So a nice gain on 2nd down. So it's going to bring up now 3rd down, a manageable 3rd down. Denzel Bonner will make the tackle for the Lions.
Well, I'll tell you, we've had to hear about what a great player Josh Dodd is, but it's a small sample size, but I really like the looks of Jesse Wilson back there.
Jesse Wilson, the young man that the play-by-play man Josh West for Holmes was raving about in the pregame. Ball near hash again, 43-yard line of EMCC. So Holmes is on the plus side of the field. Here's a little razzle-dazzle play optioned over on the right side. It's a first down and more inside the 35 and inside the almost inside the 30, exactly the 30-yard line. And boy, what a hit. Rashad Pittman, who was carrying the pitched football, is going to run over an EMCC defender and get down to the 30-yard line.
Boy, Wilson almost to the ground when he pitched that one out of there. I thought for sure it was going to be a tackle for a loss.
13-yard gain down to the 30-yard line. And you're exactly right. Boy, what a play by Holmes. I thought he was about to be on the ground as well. Under 5 to play. Holmes in business at the EMCC 30. Here's the snap back to on the option. It looked like he was about to be back to pass, and he's going to be smothered, but he gets back to the 31-yard line, but will lose a yard. So it's going to bring up now 2nd down and 11, and getting back there to drop him, Aaron Boatwright, who's been a tackle for loss machine for EMCC, came in with 4 sacks.
Well, that time they just tackled him with about 4 or 5 guys, and that'll cut out that late pitch. It's one thing when a guy's got you down around the ankles. It's quite another when 4 guys have wrapped up on you.
Well, he dropped back, did the look left, right as far as to see if he had a pitch option, then tried to run it. Got back to the 31, but still lost a yard on the play. Inside handoff and squirting through inside the 25, inside the 20, and getting down to about the 17 or 18 or 17-yard line is going to be Cameron Brent. Brent just squirted right up the middle, knocking him off his feet. Tyree Evans, the leading tackler for EMCC, who came in with 44. So 1st down, 10 to go. Spot of the football, the 17 to be exact, under 4 to play. Holmes trying to make this a 14-10 game. Here's the snap by Wilson, and he's going to leave it with a tailback who's going to go around the right side. And getting inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line is going to be Brent again. Cole Baker will make the stop for EMCC. Brent came in the leading rusher for Holmes. Cameron Brent had 96 carries for 737 yards coming in, averaging 147 a game. So after the 3-yard gain, he makes it 2nd and 7 inside the EMCC 15 down to the 14. Wilson up under center with twin receivers near side. Here's the snap, option near side, now tries to cut down the middle of the field, and he's going to get inside the 10, and there's a bunch of black jerseys down there for EMCC. The spot of the football will be the 10, so it's a gain of 4 on the draw play by Wilson.
I tell you, the thing that's so impressive about Brent, Jason, is the fact that you look at those 147 yards, but those are yards coming straight up the middle. Those are hard-earned yards. He's not getting out on the edge. He's having to run between the tackles, and that's, you take a beating doing that.
Lorenzo Dantzler with a stop. EMCC stacking the box. Here's the snap, leaving it with Brent. Tries to go behind right guard. Gets inside the 10. Is going to be close to a 1st down, but he's going to be shy as he gets between the 8 and 9-yard line. Needs to get to the 7, so they're about a yard and a half shy. 2:29, 2:28, and it's decision time for Holmes now, trailing 14-3. And to get any momentum back, you really need to get into the end zone here.
Well, I don't know if I wouldn't kick it right here. You make it a 1-score game at 14-6, but 4th down and a yard, option-oriented offense.
Absolutely.
This is what you're supposed to be made for. So can't fault them for going for it.
Jesse Wilson will be up under center. 4th and a yard and a half inside the 10 of EMCC. The snap, leaving it with Brent. Brent goes straight up the middle, and I don't think he got there, Charlie. It depends on a left foot, right foot spot, but it looks like EMCC is held from our vantage point.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's going to matter which foot they pick. I think this is going to go over.
Glenn Beard has a better advantage. Well, it is going to be EMCC football, and boy, this near sideline erupts.
Yeah, he's short, guys. I was about to tell you, I didn't want to step in on you, but yeah, absolutely short by about a half a yard.
All right, thank you, Glenn. 1:54 to go before halftime. EMCC up 11, 14-3, and they get the ball back. And boy, defense has really come up huge here at Sullivan Wyndham Field in a couple of games in the red zone, and they do it again tonight.
Well, now's the chance for your offense to go down and really change the complexion of this game. Put it away.
Snap from their own 7. Play action. Screen pass left side. Caught and tripped up around the line of scrimmage, maybe diving forward to the 8-yard line. Is going to be Calvin Keys Jr. who makes the reception for EMCC. He's knocked off his feet by Holmes' Derek Dixon.
But here's the thing, Jason. If you don't get yards here on 2nd down, you got to think about slowing it down and just trying to get to the dressing room.
Scott with the snap, looking near side all the way, and he's going to float it over the head of the intended receiver, Kirk Merritt, at the 30-yard line. It goes out of bounds, so it's going to bring up now a 3rd down and 9. Spotted the football near the 9-yard line.
Yeah, so you've got 1:26 to go until the halftime. EMCC has a timeout left. Holmes has 2 left, and if you're Holmes right now, you're thinking about getting a stop here, forcing a punt. And maybe getting another turn offensively.
Lindsey Scott with a snap, backs up to the goal line, now steps up. Looks like he's going to keep it. He rolls to the left, and he's going to go out of bounds short of the 15-yard line. It looks as if they may put him out at the 14. He will be out at the 14, so it's going to bring up a 4th down. And obviously the Lions are going to have to kick it away. So EMCC now with a 3 and out with 1:17 to go before halftime.
Yeah, and, you know, Jason, the other thing that's a little bit concerning here is you didn't force Holmes to burn any timeouts. You got the football, the minute 54. You're going to run this 4th down play at a minute 17, and Holmes figures to have field position out around midfield with a pair of timeouts and a minute 17 to go. Now, a run-oriented attack, not ideal, but we've seen Wilson able to throw the football as well.
Sean Walton will walk up to his 48-yard line, his own 48, awaiting this punt. Snap back to the goal line as Taylor Crabtree was about to get rid of it. We have another whistle.
We have a delay game here.
We do. And that's going to be against the punter, Taylor Crabtree. Taylor Crabtree so far this season averaging 39.2 yards per kick. Missed last week's game against Mississippi Delta with an illness. Is punting and kicking tonight. Spot of the football is the 9-yard line. They'll snap it from their own 9 into the end zone, and taking it is Crabtree, and it's a high booming spiral kick, and backing up, taking it at the 46 is Walton. Walton's going to get inside EMCC territory, but knocked off his feet at the 48-yard line. Nice tackle that time by EMCC. Basically almost really an open field tackle. 1:07 to go before halftime.
Yeah, but here's Holmes with good field position. They're on the Lions side of the football field at the 47-yard line. They've got a minute 17 to go. They've got a pair of timeouts, and you know, those timeouts, you can afford to even run the ball a couple of times here if you choose.
So the punt was 44 yards by Taylor Crabtree. 1st down, 10 to go. Up under center is Wilson. Jesse Wilson fires it over on the far sideline, caught, and the receiver is going to be Cavante Younger. Was trying to slip out of the tackle and keep running. I guess he thought his knees weren't on the ground, so it's going to be a gain of 9 on the play down to the 38-yard line. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 1. Ball right hash. Wilson up under center will take the snap. Back to pass, and he's almost sandwiched, gets out of it, fires it deep down the field, looking for the end zone, has a man open, but it may be picked off by EMCC, but I think they're going to be, no, it is picked off, and it will be a touchback, EMCC, and that's Ty Williams, his 2nd interception of the year.
Wow, I'm surprised he was able to get a foot down. He went high in the air and looked like that pile carried out of the back of the end zone, but must have gotten a foot down, and that's an interception.
Yeah, he did. We're watching the replay a little bit more zoomed in. Ty Williams picks off his 2nd interception of the year, but we have a penalty flag lying at the 30-yard line. Glenn? Oh, wow, it's going to be unsportsmanlike contact on the EMCC bench. And that's going to draw the boos from the home crowd. 36 seconds left in the first half. 14-3 EMCC on top of Holmes. I want to remind you that coming up at the half, we'll take a look around the Southeastern Conference on SEC Update. Charlie Winfield will update you on stats. And before all of that, we'll go down on the field to Buddy Stevens. Yes, we'll get his thoughts. And Buddy Stevens is not happy with that penalty on the bench right now. And we have a timeout on charge to East Mississippi. So the Lions have no more timeouts left. 36 seconds left before half. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is the EMCC Radio Network. 36 seconds remaining here in the first half. Here in the second quarter, it's 14-3 EMCC, and with ball possession, after that personal foul penalty on the bench, EMCC is going to have it at the 10-yard line. It looks like they're going to go into victory formation and just run out the clock here in the first half. So Lindsey Scott Jr. will go up under center, take the snap, go to his right knee, and that's going to do it for the first half. 33 seconds, now 32. I don't think Holmes has 2 timeouts left. They're going to use a timeout here to try to burn the clock. There's no need because it's first down for EMCC. I guess if they just wanted to do something to counter Buddy Stevens and EMCC, they would call the timeout, but EMCC shouldn't have to snap the ball again. They're not. 10 seconds left here in the first half, so momentarily we're going to send it to the field to Glenn Beard, who will be with Buddy Stevens. Charlie, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, not bad. You know, it's a game. It's a little bit slowed by the fact that Holmes moves quickly, but Lions with the lead, and they can't be too upset.
Here's Glenn Beard with Buddy Stevens. Glenn.
14.
Thanks, Jason. Down here with head football coach Buddy Stevens. Coach Stevens, the offense started out like gangbusters and then kind of stalled there in the end of the first half.
Yeah, we had a lot of stupid penalties. I mean, we got motion penalties. We got holding penalties. That's us doing it to ourselves. I think the defense is playing great, and we just got to quit making stupid, silly mistakes.
Yeah, defense shutting down that offense of Holmes.
All right, thank you, Glenn. And we're here at the half. We'll be back in 1 minute with the start of the halftime show. This is the EMCC Radio Network. All right, have SEC update ready.
For your halftime enjoyment, please welcome East Mississippi Community College very own Mighty Lion Band. Tonight's performance is entitled Uprising. The performance Uprising is based on the need for humanity to rise up against the things that would hold us back or cause us defeat. We must have an uprising against disease, famine, wear, and oppression of all sorts. Movement 1 is entitled The Phoenix. This movement reminds us that, like the phoenix, rising from the ashes in all its glory, so too is our opportunity to rise from all things that would oppress humanity. Movement 2, entitled The Uprising, is cue call for all humankind to take an active part in lifting up our brothers and sisters. In today's civilization, there is no room for oppression. We must all live together in peaceful harmony. Finally, Movement 3 is a song written by British rock band Coldplay, Viva la Vida, which means long live life, or more literally, life lives. And after he saw the phrase on a painting by Mexican artist Frida Kahlo, it is only through the spirit of cherishing life and the lives of others that we may truly have an uprising of the spirit of humanity. Featured in this movement is Noah Hinckley and Jack Smith. Tonight, the Mighty Lion Band would like to dedicate the performance to the victims of the horrible events that occurred in Las Vegas this past Sunday. We ask that you hold all of the injured and deceased of this event close in your thoughts and prayers. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, so too will the spirit of humanity rise above all senseless acts of violence. The band is directed by Steve Stringer, Director of Bands, Chris King, Assistant Director of Bands, Katie Fulton, Color Guard Instructor, Megan Anderson, Dance Instructor, Brady Green, Percussion Instructor. The band is under the field command of Drum Major, Mr. Jordan Williams. Drum Major, is your band ready to take the field for the halftime performance? Ladies and gentlemen, the East Mississippi Community College Mighty Lion Band.
important message from our friends at Meridian Honda.
Meridian Honda is proud to sponsor EMCC football. We want to offer you an exciting deal. Bring your ticket stub to Meridian Honda this week and we'll give you an extra $500 toward your purchase of a new or pre-owned Honda. It's a great day to be an EMCC Lions fan. Go Lions! Ah! 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 Ah!
And now, an important message from our friends at Meridian Honda.
Meridian Honda is proud to sponsor EMCC football. We want to offer you an exciting deal. Bring your ticket stub to Meridian Honda this week and we'll give you an extra $500 toward your purchase of a new or pre-owned Honda. It's a great day to be an EMCC Lions fan. Go Lions!
Ah! 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 Ah!
Mornings around here are pretty hectic. Getting 2 kids to school, getting up early, driving to Meridian.
Dad, I need in. Every game day. Dad, hurry up. I know it's game day and all, but we gotta get to school in the mornings. Come on.
Game day mornings are especially hectic.
Game day! Bathroom's open. And now, an important message from our friends at Meridian Honda.
Meridian Honda is proud to sponsor EMCC football. We want to offer you an exciting deal. Bring your ticket stub to Meridian Honda this week and we'll give you an extra $500 toward your purchase of a new or pre-owned Honda. It's a great day to be an EMCC Lions fan. Go Lions!
Ah! 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 Ah!
Mornings around here are
times, completed 3 through an interception in the first half of play. EMCC punted once. It was a 44-yard effort. Holmes punted twice, 34 yards on the two averaged together. Time of possession favored Holmes, but not to the extent perhaps we thought it would. Holmes known for being a ball control type football team. They held it for 15 minutes and 25 seconds. EMCC held it for 14 minutes and 35 seconds. The Bulldogs of Holmes had 7 third downs, converted 3. The Lions were 6 of 10 in that category. Holmes went for it on 4th down one time, was unsuccessful. Lions went for it twice, were successful on 1 out of 2. Each team got to the red zone twice. Each team converted 1 of those opportunities in the scoring chances. Leading rusher for East Mississippi, the quarterback, Lindsey Scott. He had 6 carries, 41 yards, a long of 11, and an average of nearly 7 for Holmes. The leading rusher in the ball game was Cameron Brent. He had 10 carries, 52 yards. Brent came in averaging over 140 yards per game rushing, so a little bit behind pace, but at the same time, a good first half for that fullback for Holmes. He ran 10 dive plays basically and had 52 yards, an average of 5.2 for him. Passing, Jesse Wilson for Holmes was 2 of 4. Josh Dodd was 1 of 4. And as we mentioned, for EMCC, Lindsey Scott Jr., 21 of 28 passing the football. He had 219 yards, a touchdown to his credit, a long completion of 37 yards. Calvin Keys Jr. led the way receiving for the Lions. He had 5 catches for 46 yards. Tyrell Price, the running back, had 4, and Jamori Mark had 3. So 7 of the 21 receptions for the Lions were to running backs coming out of the backfield. And then Williams had the 2 catches for 29 yards, also had a touchdown to his credit. Punt returns, 2 for 23 for Kirk Merritt. He had a long of 22. And if you look at the defensive side of the football for East Mississippi, Cole Baker had 6 tackles. Duke Upshaw had 4. So at halftime score, the Lions of EMCC up 14-3. We are just about set for second half activity. The Lions have returned to the playing field. They have huddled in their end zone, and the Bulldogs of Holmes has returned across the way. And Jason Crowder at halftime now just about behind us.
Yeah.
EMCC 14-3 lead, but they'll have to kick it off. Really important drive, I feel like, coming out of the dressing room here. If you're Holmes, you want to go down and get points. You do not want to put yourself in a position to give the Lions a chance to score first. And I don't want to say put it out of reach, but basically put it out of reach if it gets to 21-3.
Absolutely, because, I mean, let's face it, against this defense, what they do offensively for Holmes, we talk about how you don't want to get behind the sticks. Well, you also don't want to get behind too far on the scoreboard, because that's the same way, the way this offense is built. They're not going to score bunches and bunches of points in a short amount of time. And it's not long, I think, before EMCC kind of figures things out. And they're going to stop. They're going to clean up some of the stuff, I believe, here in the second half. This is too important of a ball game. It's a top 15 matchup. It's 14-3. Holmes is still within striking distance, and they're going to get the football to start the second half. Sure, they're probably disappointed with the way they kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit, or at least didn't get things accomplished when they had opportunities late second half. If Holmes on that 4th and 2, or a yard and a half, if they get that and get into the end zone and get the ball back down 14-10, that's a totally different ball game. Put an asterisk by that defensive series there inside or defensive play, I should say, inside the red zone, because that one was huge, huge, huge right before half. EMCC is going to kick it off from right to left. Grayson Pontius out there will kick it from the 35 here momentarily. Roebuck will stand middle of the field at the 5-yard line. Pontius makes sure everybody's ready to go, comes up upon it and kicks it with his right foot. It's end over end. It's going to angle near side and go just inside the, well, apparently it didn't go inside the pylon. It goes out at the 1 yard line, and the penalty flag flies. So that's going to be a automatic placement at the 35 yard line unless Holmes wants to get the football kicked to them again, and they don't. Oh, yeah. I had to check my eyes tonight, Charlie. It looked like that went on the other side, the good side of the pylon. Earlier, I thought the football went through the uprights, and it went on the wrong side of the uprights. Glenn?
Jason, you couldn't kick it any closer for it not to be in. I mean, it was out, but, I mean, it literally almost hit the top of the pylon.
So you're giving me the benefit of the doubt there?
Yeah, from your vantage point.
Right. So it's an illegal procedure penalty on EMCC, so the Lions are going to give up the football to the 35 yard line. So here comes Holmes. And it looks like they're going to stick with Jesse Williams out there. Or Wilson, I beg your pardon. So Wilson will go up under center and start the second half. Wilson with the snap's going to leave it with Brent. Brent's going to be bottled up, tries to bounce to the outside, and he's going to get a yard up to, or 2 yards, I should say, up to the 37 yard line. So that'll bring up now 2nd down and 8 to go.
Brent is the ball carrier.
As we said, Brent's been the bell cow for them offensively this year, averaging 147 yards a game on the ground. Holmes averaging 388. They've had 12 guys touch the football as far as rushing the football coming into this game. This offense has given many, many defenses headaches, but EMCC has been ready for it tonight. Give Cliff Collins and his defensive staff a pat on the back. Wilson with the snap, rolls left from the 37 and fires it over the head of his teammates on the bench and over the fence, and it hits the railing of the stands that houses the Holmes fans across the way that have traveled from Goodman, Mississippi, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8 after the incompletion from the 37, their own 37. So ball's going to be placed near hash.
That was a nice play, by the way, by Dwayne Pickett. He got good pressure on the quarterback, forced the throw without allowing him to set his feet, and that's going to bring up 3rd and long.
So Wilson will go up under center now. Survey that 4-man front for East Mississippi. With the snap, back to pass. Steps up, fires it over the middle of the field. It's incomplete at the 40-yard line, but here come the Yellow Hankies. As hit just a little bit early was the intended receiver, which is Rashad Pittman, a sophomore running back who went out for the pass. He was down to the EMCC 40, and the flags fly, and that's going to be a pass interference on EMCC, Glenn.
Number 44, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
He got there just a little too soon, but he was coming from behind, so his right hand was on the shoulder of the Holmes receiver, and that's what got it.
And that's the 2nd pass interference call on EMCC defensively in this game. We promised you scores. We haven't had a chance to get to those. We're going to get to them here in this quarter, I promise. Scores from around MAC JC play. So after the penalty, the ball's going to be placed at the 48 of EMCC. And the snap by Wilson, option left, and he tries to go back downfield, and he is going to be hit at the 49 and drop, but forward progress gets him to midfield. But he will lose 2 yards on the play, and it'll bring up now 2nd down and 12, and he is met by 3 different EMCC Lions. Leading the way that time, Tyree Evans. Also in on the stop, Marquise Griffin. So 2nd down and 13, actually a loss of 3 on the play, I beg your pardon. Ball placed at midfield, just shy of midfield. The snap by Wilson, fakes the give to Brent. Now he's going to pitch it to the left, and his tailback's going to hurdle a man. He's going to get inside the 45. He's going to be close to the 40-yard line as he gets out of bounds, and that's going to be Matthew Pleasant, the sophomore 5'8" from Ocean Springs, Mississippi. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Emmanuel Bridges will knock him off his feet. 3rd down and 6, ball placed at the 44-yard line of EMCC. Ball left hash, moving from left to right, this Holmes Bulldog offense. Surveying that 4-man front as he walks up to his center. Wilson's going to get up under center now, send a man in motion. He's going to take the snap, play action, back to pass, steps up in the pocket again, looking left. He's going to be hit, but escapes that pressure, and he's going to be tripped up from behind, and he stumbles down to the 35-yard line. It's enough for a 1st down, and boy, Jesse Wilson has been impressive, about as impressive getting away from pressure as Lindsey Scott Jr. here in this game.
Yeah, different kind of guy. He's a smallish quarterback, but he seems to have a pretty good low center of gravity and does a good job of keeping his balance Almost looks like a running back after he decides not to throw the football.
That's a great observation, Charlie, as the spot of the football is going to be near hash, 34-yard line of EMCC. 4-man front for the Lions. Linebackers kind of creeped up in the box. Here's the snap and leaving it on the ground with Brent. Brent's going to try to go around left side. Once he goes between the tackles, tries to shift left, gets a yard on the play down to the 33. And a host of folks are going to wrap him up, led by Lorenzo Densler. We'll take a look at individual statistics now. Brent with 12 carries for 55 yards. He has a long of 16. Jesse Wilson, 2 of 5, though, for 19 yards through the air, but his effectiveness has been on the ground running, as Glenn alluded to in pregame. The snap, looking to throw, and he's going to throw it left side, and having to dive for it inside the 30 at the 27-yard line is going to be, looks like that's number 88, DeMarcus Johnson, a freshman receiver from Port Gibson. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and a little over 3 yards. They've got to get inside the 25 down to the 24. So it's 3rd down and 3 now, ball left hash. Up under center is Jesse Wilson. EMCC showing pressure. They toss it, and it's fumbled by the tailback, and there's a scramble for it, and it looks like Holmes is going to get back on it. Fumbling it and recovering it is Gabe Short, a freshman tailback from Ridgeland, Mississippi. And now it puts him in a 4th and 11 situation. And boy, that's tough right there.
Yeah, pushed all the way back to the 36-yard line. And, boy, that's just a backbreaker. But I think at the 36 in a game that's 14-3, I think you got to think about keeping your offense out there and going for this.
And it looks like they are, as the spot of the football is now going to be the 36-yard line.
I think we may see the old punt out with the quarterback here.
Yeah, he's lined up deep. I noticed he was just trotting on the field when I said that, and I looked over at something else, and then as you guys started to correct me, I looked up, oh yeah. So there's a timeout called, and it's going to be called by Holmes. Now would be a good time to take a look at some scores from around MAC-JC play as we get those pulled up. There was some interesting games going on around the league. As we mentioned, next week, EMCC has to travel to Northwest. Northwest, a team that beat Holmes Community College last week, 33-13. Mississippi Gulf Coast leading Mississippi Delta at the half, 31-13. Also at the half, Jones hosting East Central. It's 28-0 Bobcats. Hines and Capaya Lincoln tied at 10 at the half, that game being played in Wesson. Speaking of Northeast Mississippi Community, or speaking of, well, I was thinking Northwest, it's Northeast. Too many directional schools. Northeast trailing Itawamba, by the way, 33-7 at the half, and now Northwest leading Coahoma 28-0 in the 4th quarter. Of course, that game got a 30-minute extra start time. So Holmes ready to snap it, and they're going to kick it with Jesse Wilson, or at least that's what they're showing, and Jesse Wilson's going to take it, and now it's going to be a double reverse, and EMCC is not going to have any of it, and now just tossing it around like it's the end of the ball game. Ball's going to be fumbled, and EMCC is going to take over somewhere just over their own 40-yard line.
Well, if they'd have gone with about 3 reverses instead of 5, I think they'd been okay right there, Jason. You know, they had a pretty good option, pretty good reverse going back the other way, but it was that second pitch, I think, that got them in trouble. Nice job by EMCC. Look, they weren't fooled at all by that particular play, and they're going to get the football with good field position, a chance to drive the field and put this game away.
And EMCC, we'll see if they come out crisp here in the second half offensively. 10:33 to go here in the 3rd quarter. So EMCC with Lindsey Scott Jr. will be in the shotgun. Twin receivers near side. Wide side of the field, twin receivers as well, which is to the right. Little high snap to the right. Takes it. Screen pass near side. Great blocking between the numbers on the sideline. And getting out of bounds is going to be Calvin Keys Jr., and he's going to be pushed out of bounds around midfield. So it's going to be an 8-yard gain. So that'll bring up now 2nd and 2. Chasing him out of bounds is Lorenzo McCaskill.
And, Glenn, I don't mean to be premature saying go down and put it away, but I don't think Holmes can score 3 times on this Lions defense.
Agreed. Lindsey Scott Jr. in the shotgun, same formation as last. Will turn and hand it off to his big tailback, Tyrell Price. Comes around near side, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds after getting the first down at the 41-yard line of Holmes. So EMCC is in business so far. It looks like they're in some rhythm here on this drive. They'll have it first down to go from the 41 of the Bulldogs. Ball will be placed left hash. Official blows the play ready. Twin receivers either side. Price flanked to the left of Scott. Four-man front for Holmes. Here they come, but great protection. Scott back to pass, fires it over the middle, wide open inside the 20. Caught, 15, 10, 5. Kirk Merritt to the goal line. Touchdown, EMCC.
What an outstanding job by Merritt running after the catch. There were 4 defensive backs back there, but Merritt just bullied his way through that defense, got into the end zone. Glenn Beard, you were right there. What a job by Merritt.
Absolutely, Charlie. Could you tell Merritt wanted that one after the 2 that were nullified earlier tonight? He did an outstanding job. Once he saw the end zone, he was not going to be denied, spinning and making a guy miss, and got in there for the touchdown.
Thank you, Glenn. We'll await the snap by Wood. Here's the snap, high snap, but pulled down by Boykin. And Crabtree puts it to the uprights, and it is now 21-3, a 41-yard touchdown, a pitch and catch from Lindsey Scott Jr. to Kirk Merritt. And Merritt now has his, 3rd or 4th touchdown through the air. I'll have to look at the statistics over here. Kirk Merritt with his 3rd touchdown receiving, had one called back in the first half. And Charlie, we'll see if you're right. We'll see if this will do it as far as putting this game away, but still plenty of time for Holmes. 21-3 is the score. We're going to keep it right here as EMCC is ready to come out and kick this football away from right to left. Standing around the 10-yard line, or excuse me, the 5-yard line, I should say, is going to be Caleb Roebuck. Kind of that triangle formation with return man. You got 2 men standing around the 15, 1 inside the 10. Sanchez Berry, one of those men, out of Bassville, Mississippi, won a couple of state championships, obviously, in high school. It's now Jefferson Davis High School. Coming up on it is Grayson Pontius. Here's a high end-over-end kick. It's going to back Roebuck up into the end zone. Is he going to bring it out? Yes. Unwisely brings it out. 5, 10, cross to 15, 20, 25. Maybe I was wrong. He gets up to the 26, 27-yard line. Nice return as he came up the near hash by Roebuck. Caleb Roebuck, a very athletic return man.
Well, I have a friend who likes to say that the juice isn't worth the squeeze. And on that one, I'm not sure those 2 yards were worth the squeeze that Roebuck had to make. Well, it's a big risk right there to get out to the 27. But, hey, look, you're down 21-3, and you got to do something to try to get a spark offensively and maybe give your team a little bit of life.
So Jesse Wilson up under center. Ball near hash at the 27, his own 27. Rolls to the left, deep rollout. Now fires it. It's intercepted by EMCC. And it's inside the 20, inside the 15, 10, and pulled down somewhere around the 6-yard line. And coming up to make the interception, I believe that was that Duke Upshaw? Yes, it was Duke Upshaw with the INT across the way from us.
Now, he saw that one coming all the way, sat on the route, got in front of the receiver, and just one tackle prevents him from getting into the end zone, and that's very good job defensively by Duke Upshaw.
I'll tell you what, Charlie, if 21-3 doesn't put it away, I think if EMCC punches in here, it's going to be a tall, not hill, but mountain to climb for Holmes here in the second half, because EMCC looks like they've come out with a little juice. You mentioned it just a moment ago, some high energy here in the second half. They'll go twins near side, twins to the far side. Here's the snap to Scott. He's going to keep it himself. Comes around near side, inside the 5, and he's going to leap over folks and dive into the end zone. Touchdown! EMCC. Almost windmill. Looked like he did a cartwheel into the end zone. He scores it. It's 27-3. 5-yard touchdown run for Lindsey Scott Jr.
My goodness.
What in the world's he doing? What a move. Reminds me a little bit of Isaiah Wright's 5-yard dive.
Well, add that to the list of things I never want to do in life. That was quite a play by Lindsey Scott.
All right, so we'll await the snap back here by Wood to Boykin. Once again, Crabtree will attempt it. He's been perfect on PATs, and it's through the uprights. It's good. I didn't jinx him on that one, folks. And it's 28-3. EMCC with 9:32 to go here in the third quarter. Back in 30 seconds, you're listening to the EMCC Radio Network. I feel like I'm at a Saints game. 28-3, EMCC with the lead, a 5-yard touchdown run, capping a one-play 5-yard drive after a pick off by Duke Upshaw, returning it from the 40-yard line to the 5. So a 35-yard return. And then it was the quarterback, Lindsey Scott Jr., keeping it on the ground. And that is a touchdown, make it number 3 for Lindsey Scott this season on the ground. And Caleb Roebuck brings it out across the 10. He's going to get up to about the 16-yard line. Roebuck loves the contact, and he loves returning kicks for Holmes. And it's going to be about 10 yards further behind than they started their last drive.
14 yards. First down, Bulldogs.
And I think EMCC is kind of forcing Holmes to do some things they're not normally comfortable with, obviously throw the football. They've bottled up the run here in the second half.
Yeah, they're really in a spot now where they have to get out of their normal routine, and it's tough to do.
Josh Dodd back out there, takes the snap. He's going to keep it on the option left side, and he's going to get out across the 20 over by the numbers, and we have a penalty flag that flies. Glenn, if you saw this chime in, that'll bring up now 2nd and short, but we'll see what this penalty is. Looks like it's going to be against Holmes.
There is a flag.
Yeah, it's going to be a false start, I believe, Jason. But it's going against Holmes. It's going to be the false start.
Illegal block below the waist. Number 75 on the offense.
Well, regardless, it's against Holmes. They're making the call now.
Well, the left guard moved a little bit early. That's what they were talking about, but illegal block below the waist outside the tackle box.
All right, thank you, Glenn. We'll check back in with you here in just a bit. And so after the penalty yardage has been assessed, the spot of the football will be inside their own 10, down to the 9-yard line for the Holmes Bulldogs. They break huddle quickly and come up on the football with 9:10 to go in the third quarter. They have 20 seconds to snap it. Don up under center. Now we'll take the snap. Boy, it looks like a little bit of confusion over there, but that's their offense. He pitches it and hit around the 13-yard line. And that's going to be Sanchez with the carry. So it's going to be a loss on the play. Duke Upshaw comes up with a huge hit over there across the way on the left sideline. So a loss of a yard on the play. Or excuse me, a gain of a couple on the play. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 13 now. And handing it off to his tailback and going behind right guard up to around the 15-yard line. Holmes is going to get a couple of yards on the play, and that's going to be Brent again. So it's going to bring up now a 3rd down and 10. So a 3rd and 10 coming up for the Holmes Bulldogs. Clock rolling with 8:13, 8:12 now. Here in the third quarter, 28-3. Making the tackle for the Lions going to be Kane Taylor. Ball placed middle of the field at the 15 on 3rd and 10. They've got to get to the 25. Twin receivers near side. Here's the snap, looking near sideline all day. Now looking over the middle of the field, throwing it over the middle, and it is caught out across the 35 and getting up to about the 42-yard line. Making the reception is going to be Rashad Pittman. Pittman's been open tonight across the middle. Jaquez Akins is going to knock him off his feet, and that's a 1st down on 3rd and 10. Great 3rd down play by Holmes.
Yeah, it really was a nice, not what they're known for doing, throwing the football, but able to complete the pass. And now the Bulldogs out at the 42-yard line, 7:40 to go in the third.
So a 27-yard completion brings up 1st down and 10 from their own 42. They leave it with Brent again, who goes up the middle. I don't see how he does it. I tell you what, he's got like black jerseys all over him, and he's able to turn out a couple of more yards, and he's going to get up to the 48-yard line, so gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 4. Dwayne Pickett Jr. will finally ride him down. 7:14 to go in the third quarter. 28-3, EMCC on top. Josh Dodd breaks his huddle. Actually, it looks like they're going to put Jesse Wilson back in there. Wilson will send a man in motion from his right wing position. He's pressured in the backfield, and he's this time going to be dropped for a sack. And he's going to be dropped back inside the 35 down to the, or 45, I should say, down to the 44. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and long. Coming up with a sack, Marquise Griffin. 6:40, 6:39, 28-3. EMCC on top. We're in the third quarter with time winding down. 3rd down and 8 after the sack. Olsen with a snap, backside pressure. He's hit, but stays on his feet. Looking left, now fires it over the middle, and it is batted up in the air. It was dropped first off the hands of the intended receiver, but then coming in there to break it up as EMCC.
We're going to have a holding call. I never saw the flag on the ground.
I didn't
It looks
either.
like we got a call for holding, though.
Yeah, Buddy Stevens is going to decline it, it looks like, Glenn.
Oh, I see it. It's right there where the football was, right in the red of the logo, but it will be declined. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, going to decline that one. Be 4th down. Holmes. One of those situations when you're down 28-3 and you run the offense, you're almost tempted to go for it because you're not. But you can't give East Mississippi a short field, so they're going to run the punter out and punt it to the ever-dangerous return man.
Kirk Merritt is that ever-dangerous return man. He'll stand inside his own 20, middle of the field. Coming out to punt this one away, Bo Johnson, the freshman from Flora, 6'2", 210. Caleb Roebuck is a gunner who comes out late, and now Holmes has to call a timeout. 6:17 to go in third quarter, back at 30. This is the EMCC Radio Network. Clock's running. To go in the third quarter, and the clock ran down to 5:58 to go in the third quarter as it kept running after the official timeout, but they have now put 6:07 back on the clock. But
unfortunately, that was caught.
Yeah, unfortunately. I made the comment during the break, hey, the clock's running, and I was told, hey, be quiet. So 4th down and 8. Punting it away is going to be Bo Johnson. Bo Johnson, a 35.1-yard average coming in. Will stand at his own 31, receive a high snap, pull it down. Here's the punt. It's a wobbly punt. Kirk Merritt can return it at the 20-yard line. Goes over to his right across 25, middle of the field, 30. Trying to bounce it to the outside. It's going to be tripped up around the 31. So a return of 11 yards for Bo Johnson, or excuse me, I beg your pardon, for Kirk Merritt. Off the kick of Bo Johnson, return of 12 yards officially. For Kirk Merritt, 5:55 to go in the third quarter, 28-3.
Yeah, Jason, it's been, we saw EMCC start the first half well offensively and then kind of sputter a bit. They've started this second half well. Of course, that last drive, just 5 yards in 6 seconds. We'll see how they do here.
Lindsey Scott Jr. is going to hand it off to Jamori Mark, tries to go around right side. He's going to get up close to the 35-yard line. So gain of 4 on the play. We have an official's timeout on the field. We have a young man who lost his helmet for Holmes. Big defensive lineman who has to go out and sit a play. 5:40 to go. Clock is rolling now. 2nd down and 6. After the 4-yard gain. Spotted the football, the 35, right hash. Back to pass. Plenty of protection over the middle. Call, 40-yard line of Holmes by Mike Williams. Another long pass play, and after he's down, it's the 35, the official spot.
Really nice catch that time by Williams. He had defensive backs back there. Easy to take your eye off that football and look for that safety coming over. But Williams just used his hands, made the catch, and that's a big gain.
Chris Marshall with the tackle. Back to pass again. Scott, penalty flag flies. Goes around to his right, and he's going to back up. Now be tackled back at the 39-yard line. Tried to avoid a defender and couldn't avoid him. And he's going to lose yardage on the play. Let's see what the penalty flag is going to be. And Buddy Stevens looks irate here on the near side as he's yelling across the way at the officials.
Well, no, he's not shouting at he's shouting at his quarterback, telling him to throw the football away and live for the next down. Don't take the sack.
And that's true. Not a smart play by Lindsey Scott Jr., so. Okay. So they're going to say he actually goes down at the 40-yard line. I thought he went down at the 39, but.
Yeah, I did too, of course. Actually, worse than a penalty. You would have got the 5 yards and a first down all over again.
Absolutely. 2nd down and 15 from the 40. Slip screen near side, caught by Drummond. Keeps on his feet as he stumbled just a bit, and he's going to be hit from behind inside the 35 at the 31, knocked out of bounds.
Boy, Glenn, one of the things you've noticed, these receivers for EMCC really playing physical here tonight.
I was just about to say that too, Charlie. Very physical tonight, both blocking and catching in yards after catch.
Brent Price with the tackle, trips right, one receiver near side, snap from the 31. And firing it near side between the numbers and the hash slip, and the tackle is Drummond. 10-5, touchdown, EMCC from 31 yards out.
Well, another job of being tough as a receiver, that time by Drummond. He makes the catch about 10 yards downfield, takes a little bit of contact, but keeps his balance, and then has the presence of mind to look downfield, race to the end zone, and it extra point pending at 34-3, 4:30 to go in this third quarter. And all of a sudden, Glenn Beard, the buddy rule starts to be a topic of conversation here.
It's looking like it's very much a possibility. Snap is back to hold. The kick by Crabtree is good. And EMCC leads at 35-3. We're a touchdown away from the clock continuing to run. 4:30 to go, third quarter. Back to Scuba in 30 seconds. This is the EMCC Radio Network.
Well, EMCC has added to their lead. They've made it a 35-3 football game, 4:30 to go. They had a 5-play, 69-yard drive, consumed a minute and 29 seconds. And boy, Lindsey Scott Jr. has been really good at quarterback tonight. 26 of 33, 338 yards and 3 touchdowns. And the Lions up big.
Grayson Pontius boots it, and it's an end-over-end kick that's tilted and goes past the E and EMCC in the end zone. It's going to go out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So Holmes is going to get it at their own 35-yard line, so, or 25, I beg your pardon, so no return.
Jason, you know, Holmes last week was outscored 20-6 in the second half, and they're going to have a bigger problem here tonight. A team that just doesn't play well from behind. They aren't designed to play well from behind. And this Lions football team, now they've got them where they want them, a chance to rough them up.
Well, they're going to ride the back of Jesse Wilson now on this drive again with 4:30 to go in the third quarter. Ball placed in the middle of the field at their own 25. We'll take the snap, toss pitch over on the left side to Brent. He's going to be tripped up around the 26-yard line, so a gain of 1 on the play. So that's going to bring up now a 2nd down and 9. Tripping him up is going to be Denzel Bonner coming up from his defensive back position. Denzel Bonner, one of those that's all over the field making tackles for EMCC defensively here in 2017. 2nd and 9, ball placed left hash now. Brent be the tailback. Up under center, it's going to be Wilson. Wilson's going to call for the football, looking near side as he goes back to pass, steps up in the pocket, has to do something. He's just running around in the backfield, and he's going to throw before he's hit, and he throws it out of bounds once again over the fence and hitting the base of the grandstands across the way. It's the second time he's done that in this game, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 9 now. Spot of the football, their own 26, 35-3, EMCC on top of Holmes.
Well, now we're just scuffing up footballs, and it's 3rd down and 9 at the 26, and boy, this EMCC defense, this is when you get a chance to have some fun. Playing a Holmes offense is no fun at all when they're running that option, but when they have to throw the football, now you can turn loose.
Up under center is Wilson. Will take the snap on 3rd down and 9, and he's going to go straight up the middle after the handoff, or I should say Brent's going to go up the middle at the 30-yard line. Sometimes the way Holmes runs this offense, you don't know, it was Wilson. It wasn't Brent. It looked like he handed it off to him there for a second. They were tackling Brent and tackling Wilson, so it's hard to know who has the ball. Rasheed Johnson, I should say, making the stop.
Well, what makes it tough, Jason, is you've got, depending on which quarterback it is, you got 5'8" handing off to 5'9" and reversing it to 5'6". I mean, you just can't see those guys behind the line.
Thank you for the report.
Hey, let's not make fun of 5'6". Jason can get frustrated here.
Here's a high booming spiral by Bo Johnson, taken inside the 30-yard line by Kirk Merritt. Merritt is going to come around to the near side. It's going to have some blockers as they set up. He's got the near sideline, although he is knocked out of bounds at the 38-yard line. So EMCC is going to have a chance to have some good field position here, making the tackle. Eli Watkins knocking him out of bounds. He's from Salis, Mississippi.
All right, Jason, so it's 35-3. That's 32 points, even by my math. 2:50 to go. 38's the magic number on the Buddy rule, so a touchdown here. And this fourth quarter could go pretty quick. But, you know, I think this is one of those games here where, well, you almost hate to see it in. Lindsey Scott having such a good performance offensively. You really like this for the future.
And he pitches it on the snap to the man in motion from far side to near, and he's going to get up near the 40-yard line. It looks like that is going to be Merritt, and making the tackle is going to be Lorenzo McCaskill. So McCaskill with the stop, and that's going to be a gain of about 3 on the play. So to bring up now 2nd and 7, 2:27, 2:26 clock rolling, third quarter. Ball placed near hash. Twin receivers either side. Lindsey Scott looking right, throws it right on the screen pass, and it is caught by Tyrell Price, and he just runs to the sideline, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds somewhere around the 43-yard line, his own 43. So it's going to bring up now a third down, I beg your pardon, and 3. So a gain of 4 on the play, so third down and 3. Kurt Merritt, slot receiver to the right. Twin receivers here on the near side. The snap by Scott, looking near side, throws it left, has a man open, caught by Calvin Keys Jr., spins around at the 36, now goes back middle of the field, inside the 30, inside the 20, a foot race, 10, 5, touchdown, EMCC.
Oh my goodness, what an outstanding job by the receiver on that play, Calvin Keys Jr. That is just athleticism at its finest right there.
Goodness, if you're watching at home online, you see exactly what we're talking about. Just running around like a water bug and then gets to the end zone. He's pushed into the end zone by a Holmes defender, stays on his feet though, and it's 41-3. The clock should be rolling soon. 1:49 to go, third quarter. It'll go running after the PAT.
Boy, I just cannot say enough about this receiving core here tonight. They have been outstanding.
And the kick is through the uprights and good. They waited for the ball to be blown in play before they started running the clock. And here we go. It's 1:33 left in the third quarter. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is the EMCC Radio Network.
Wow, what a scene.
Welcome back to Scuba, Mississippi. During the break, the lights went out, and now there's cell phones coming on left and right. It's like we're at a rock concert rather than a football game, and some lights from the press box reflecting off the chrome helmets. And it is a weird scene from here in the press box. Let's go to Glenn Beard, though, who is in the dark on the sidelines. What's the scene like downstairs?
Well, it's dark, Jason. It is like a rock concert. The lights went out, but the scoreboard's still on, and the press box still has lights. Not sure what the situation is. I'm standing within ear distance of Mickey Stokes, and now the backup generator floodlights are on to illuminate the stands, and those are safety lights. Mickey Stokes, Vice President, will be contacting, I'm sure, the maintenance crew or whoever to try to get things going again.
I tell you what, Glenn, I'm parked across the way. I could get my car, turn the headlights on, and we get about 20 other people. We'll be ready to go. That's how we used to do it in the front yard.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, if you're watching online, it looks more lit on the video screen than our vantage point here in the press box. I mean, a while ago, before the emergency lights came on to illuminate the stands, it was absolutely pitch black on the field. You could see the players' chrome helmets jumping up and down. They were having a good time down there. And the coaches immediately started running, trying to gather their players.
I would like to get an official ruling here. Shouldn't the clock keep running?
I agree. It stopped with 1:15 to go. I agree 100%. If the clock, if the buddy rule was in effect and the clock should roll, even when they're playing, it should roll.
I don't know that there's a power outage exception.
Right.
I've never seen that in the book.
Well, it's funny because if you look to your left, if you're listening in the stands or whatever, when we look to our left, you see the lights from the softball and baseball fields on. So it's illuminating the parking lots, but right now we don't see any of the lights coming back on across the way. And sometimes you'll see them kind of come on like they're warming up. But
Jason, it's one of those things, these lights are the same style that once they're cut off, they have to cool down. You're looking at a minimum of 10 minutes.
That's if they get them back on quickly. So I tell you what, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back. Let's bring it back in 3 minutes live here to Scuba. Let's take a 3-minute break. When we return, it's 42-3. We hope to have some more of an update for you. Buddy Stevens looks like he's down talking to Bo Bell and another official from what we can see between the 35 and 40-yard line. But back in 3 minutes, hopefully we'll have an update. 42-3, EMCC on top of Holmes. We're in a power outage delay. This is the EMCC Radio Network.
Listener in French camp was ready to have their gospel music back and less of listening to us, and that would certainly be understandable as well.
Yeah,
but,
and I could guarantee you there's some people that's wanting to listen to us.
You know, Jason, here's the thing. You know, it's a 42-3 ball game, and even though you've got this delay, I think what you've got to do if you're EMCC is you got to find a way to keep your guys focused, and you can now see some of the players starting to stretch a little bit, getting ready to resume play, because one of the things about this ball game, you look at it, let's talk about some of the positives, Jason. To me, one of the things that jumps out is the play of this receiving core and the play of this quarterback. Lindsey Scott Jr., 29 of 36. He's gone over 400 yards passing. He has 4 touchdowns, and he's also rushed the ball 8 times for 41 yards. And this is a guy, remember, Jason, he showed up about 2 weeks before the season started, and so you didn't know, how's he going to progress? How's he going to come along? And, boy, I think what you have seen tonight against a good Holmes team, you have to be very excited about when you start to think about the future of this EMCC season. And defensively, you've gotten a good performance against a team and a scheme that a year ago really gave you fits, as they gave up over 30 points to Holmes a year ago. So really impressed by what we've seen. We talked about Scott. The other thing, the receiving core has just been outstanding. And Glenn, I don't know, you may have some different observations, but for me, when I look at it, the thing that really jumps out at me, the development of Lindsey Scott and this receiving core really didn't seem to be on the same page earlier in the year. But if tonight's any indication, we're going to have a fun rest of the season.
Absolutely. And, Charlie, if you'll notice, the physicality that the wide receivers are playing with as compared to week 1 has just stepped up each and every week. And tonight, by far, the most physical they've played. And broken tackles, outstanding stop blocking, everything happening out on the perimeter. It's just been phenomenal.
And I think we'd be remiss, too, if we didn't give some credit on the defensive side of the ball. Holmes came in averaging 37.6 points per contest. And some people would say, well, look at their competition. Okay, I mean, you know, maybe the defenses that they've played have not been the most stellar. Obviously, have been as good as what they faced in Northwest and the EMCC. But they've done a good job for the most part tonight, a passing grade for sure, of playing gap assignments, disciplined football and defense, and they've been physical. The front 7 has done a really good job. When they've stacked the box, have done a good job. And they've given up a couple of big pass plays, but it's not anything that's really hurt them. They've only given up 3 points so far through this contest, and we're with 1:15 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, and ultimately, look, a team tries to throw it enough. They're going to complete some. The key is they've just kept those few and far between. You have not seen Holmes come out and just, you know, tear your secondary apart. It's been a good job. The other thing that we haven't seen, Glenn, if you go back a year ago in this football game, where there were just guys running wide open in the secondary. We're not seeing that tonight. I mean, we've seen some guys make some catches, but the guys for EMCC have been in the right place. It was just execution offensively.
Absolutely, Charlie. As we're starting to see the lights flicker as they're starting to come back on, so it'll take them a second to heat back up and start illuminating the place. But, yeah, Charlie, just terrific observation.
So we stand here in the third quarter at 1:15 to go. 42-3 is the score. EMCC is on top. We'll be back in 3 minutes to give you scores from around the league. We'll continue our conversation here as the lights, as Glenn mentioned, begin to flicker. If you're watching online, they're showing a picture of it now as you see some of those lights flickering, trying to come on. It'll take them a little bit before they start firing up. So we'll be back in 3 minutes to continue more here on the EMCC Radio Network.
Hey, got it.
over East Central. Jones up 49-7 in that contest. And Gulf Coast with the 45-20 lead over Delta. That's a ball game that is in the fourth quarter. Here, as we mentioned, a 42-3 ball game. The lights are starting to sputter on. You can see them across the way, starting to put some light on the field, and you can see them just kind of individually kicking on. And we won't be long from getting this ball game resumed. And when we do, the clock will be running. The what we call the buddy rule will be in effect. And for East Mississippi, what you've got to do is get your players regrouped a little bit. You've had some time off, and you know the issue, the ultimate outcome, no longer in doubt here. But what you've got to do is continue to try to get better out on the football field. And Glenn, you're down on the sidelines. You've got a chance to be around these players. They seem to be kind of regaining their focus a little bit as the lights start to come back on.
Yeah, the coaches really jumped on top of that. Anytime you've got a delay of this nature, you can lose your team real fast. Coach Collins took the defense and got in their ear and made them circle up immediately. And they started stretching. They went straight to stretching, and then when they saw the lights starting to flicker a little bit, they started loosening up with the high knees and some jogging and things of that nature. So the coaching staff did an outstanding job during that delay to keep everybody focused and ready to go. And we'll have the buddy rule in effect. 1:15 left to go in the third. 42-3 is your score.
Thanks, Glenn. Let's take a look at some of the statistics. So far in the game, it's Holmes Community College with 13 first downs. EMCC has 19. Holmes has rushed the ball 39 times for 151 yards, 22 times for EMCC for 70. Passing yards, just 63 for the Bulldogs. Get this, and you guys talked about, you know, how Lindsey Scott Jr. has been on. The receivers have been on. They've just done a really good job. 401 passing yards for Lindsey Scott Jr. tonight. Holmes is 5 of 14 with 2 interceptions. EMCC 29 of 36. So total yards, 53 plays for Holmes, 214 yards, 58 for EMCC for 471. 4 yards per play, an average for Holmes, 8.1 for EMCC. In time of possession, Holmes does dominate this, and that's understandable. 25 minutes and 26 seconds to 17 minutes and 45 seconds for EMCC. And that's kind of a look at some of the stats. And boy, Holmes is running out on the field. We're ready to go. These lights have come back on a little faster than I thought they would. You know, Twitter's always a fun place to go to kind of read comments and stuff, like during a delay or when something strange happens. And someone on Twitter said, this high-powered EMCC offense has had so much juice tonight they drained power from the lights tonight. So coming out on the field is going to be EMCC's kick coverage team. 55 seconds left in the third, so the clock has started. 42-3, number 1 EMCC on top. So here comes Grayson Pontius up to the football at the 35. He kicks it end over end. It's going to bounce just about a yard into the end zone, and it's going to go dead on the near side of the end zone, and it's going to be a touchback as Holmes goes and downs it, though. 33 seconds left. I don't know if Holmes will snap the football before the end of the third quarter, as they haven't blown the play in. There's now 25 seconds left in the quarter, and the play clock still hasn't started, so the football hasn't even been placed down at the 25, so we're about to probably have to take another break before we run another play. So now 15 seconds. Holmes comes up on the football. They actually may snap it and run a play. They don't look like they're in any hurry. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Up under center is the backup quarterback, Jesse Wilson. He takes the snap, going to leave it with his fullback on the fullback dive, goes behind left tackle. And that's going to run out the clock. That's Gabe Short, by the way. He's going to gain about 3 yards on the play and get up to about the 28. So that's going to end the third quarter of play. We'll be back with the fourth and final period to now finally a lit-up Sullivan Wyndham Field. This is the EMCC Football Network.
activity here tonight. Sullivan Wyndham Field. It's a 42-3 game. The Lions of EMCC leading in the contest. Holmes has the football. 2nd down and 7 at their own 28-yard line as play resumes.
Up under center is Wilson. Takes a snap, turns, and tosses it, and going around the right side and being tackled around the 26-yard line. So a loss on the play, and that's once again going to be Gabe Short. He's going to be just short of the original line of the line of scrimmage. Yeah, he's going to lose a yard on the play, or 2. Official spot is going to be the 26, so it's going to bring up now a 3rd down and 9. So he did lose 2 yards on the play. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down situation for the boys from Goodman as they come up on the football. Twin receivers to the near side. Up under center once again is Wilson. Wilson back to pass as he rolls to the near side. Squares, fires, and it is off the shoulder pads of the intended receiver at the 36-yard line. The intended receiver is Stephen Burdett, the sophomore from Senatobia. Took his eye off the football, and that's going to bring up now 4th down and 9, and they're going to have to punt it away from their own 26.
Be interesting to see if we see any more of Lindsey Scott in this football game. I would somewhat anticipate that we will see Tamoris Connor in the ball game. And if that's the case, boy, what a ball game for Scott. Gets over the 400-yard mark passing. 29 of 36, sacked once. 4 touchdown passes.
Kirk Merritt will stand far hash at his own 34. Bo Johnson has punted the most tonight that he has punted all season. Has to go down to his ankles to pick this one up and kicks it away. Merritt backs up at the 30 and he can return it. Merritt now just bursts the speed across the 35. Angles near side, gets to the 40 and can't escape the 2nd tackle at the 43-yard line as they roll him out of bounds. And he may have gotten up to about the 44. It looks like that is where they're going to spot it, the 44-yard line. So with 12:57 to go in the game, it's 42-3 EMCC on top.
5 punt returns tonight for Merritt and about 54 yards in return yardage. So, boy, you'd take that. About 10, 12 yards per return.
43 yards on the kick just a moment ago by Bo Johnson. So Lindsey Scott Jr. will snap it from the 44, zone 44. He'll hand it off to his tailback, and that is going to be, I think, Justin Connor, and it is. Connor goes straight up the middle, and Connor's going to pinball off some folks and get close to a 1st down, and it's going to be down to the 46-yard line of Holmes, which would be enough for a 1st down, and it is enough for a 1st down, so they'll move the chains. Justin Connor playing for the first time tonight out of North Panola High School. Lindsey Scott will take the snap, turn, hand it with Connor. Connor right between the tackles, now tries to bounce it to the outside as they're holding on to his legs, down to the 41-yard line between the hash and the numbers.
You know, one thing Connor does, he does a good job of keeping his feet moving after contact. Not a guy who will go down very often at first contact.
Great observation, Charlie. He's just a bull runner, just like Tyrell Price. Jamori Mark, tough runner, but more of the speed and skill. Back to pass, firing it across the middle, caught inside the 35-yard line, enough for a 1st down, down to the 31. And the receiver, I believe that is going to be, that's a new man in there. That's going to be Travion Jones, a freshman from Woodville, Mississippi. I was about to say Calvin Keys Jr., but that was number 16 out there. So Jones with the reception. So some new kids out there at receiver. Boykin, a slot receiver near side. The snap, back to pass, has some pressure, now backs up and just fires it out of bounds. No, going to the end zone, a bigger pardon, caught, touchdown, EMCC, and that's Boykin. First touchdown reception on the season.
Yeah, just kind of hung it up there, and Boykin a chance to go up, grab the football, get the touchdown, and that's just going to add to this Lions lead, 48-3 now, and boy, you just continue to pile on the stats for Lindsey Scott Jr.
Guys, when Scott backed up, I thought he was just trying to avoid that pressure. I was wondering why he got rid of it so quickly, and boy, it looked like it was angling, and then all of a sudden, whoa, he's going to the end zone. As I look around the monitor here, and all of a sudden, there's Boykin there to catch it. Snap is back, the kick is up, it is good. So Boykin out of Madison Central High School with his first touchdown reception of 2017, and it's a blowout in Scuba, Mississippi. Number 15 going down to number 1, 49-3, and there's still 10 minutes left to go in this game. We'll be back at 30. This is the EMCC Radio Network. Braden Boykin, I beg your pardon, the freshman receiver from Madison Central with the touchdown reception just a moment ago. And EMCC is up big, 49-3. Grayson Pontius is going to kick this one off from left to right. 9:22, 9:21, clock rolling, fourth quarter. We've had a lightning delay, or excuse me,
a lighting delay.
Lighting outage delay, I guess you should say, as the ball is going to go out of the end zone for a touchback. So 49-3 is our score with 9 minutes to go. Just had a visit from Dr. Tom Hubner, the president of EMCC, giving me a fist bump, even though I'm wearing this ring. That could hurt.
I thought he was giving you the exit sign.
I thought he was, too. I thought, you know, finally, I've wondered when they're going to give me the exit boot, and I thought that's what he was doing. He's patting me on the shoulder. I was like, he's saying,
thumb to the air and over the head, get out of here.
Get out, yeah. It's Charlie's turn. First down, 10 to go from the 25. And up under center is Josh Dodd, the original starter. Will take the snap, roll to his right, has some pressure. Now they're going to step up and fire it deep down the right sideline. Has a step on EMCC's defender, but it's broken up by Duke Upshaw. Upshaw closed. I guess if the ball would have settled a little bit more in front of the receiver, he could have made the reception.
Well, had a safety help coming over too. So all things being equal, it was going to take a perfect throw, and we haven't seen many perfect throws tonight for Holmes. And this Lion defense continuing to do a good job here tonight. They have defended the run well, and now they have Holmes doing something they don't like to do, and that's throwing the football.
To Marcus Johnson, the intended receiver. Here's the snap by Dodd, and he goes over on the right side. Now pitches it as a pitch man. He's going to take it down the far sideline for a first down. I should say up the far sideline. Still on his feet inside EMCC territory. Thought he stepped out of bounds before he got to the 50, but down to the 46. But we have a penalty flag, and this is going to be a block in the back or a hole one, I believe, on Holmes. Let's go down on the field. Glenn?
Yeah, penalty flag thrown about the 24-yard line, Jason. It's going to be blocking the back against Holmes. That'll back it up and replay the down.
All right, so that nice run is going to be negated. Pittman was the young man who took the football down the far sideline into EMCC territory. 7:09 to go, clock still rolling, 49-3 EMCC on top. Another snoozer ball game here in the second half for the Lions, winning 45-7 last week at Mississippi Delta. EMCC trying to go to 6-0 and stay perfect in North Division play. Don up under center, takes the snap for the right hash, rolls to the near side, and he's going to be sacked back at the 5-yard line. And coming in to make the sack is going to be Dwayne Pickett Jr., and while he's still sitting on his keister, flexes his muscles. Love it.
You know, Glenn, he's a guy you have to look at when we start talking about players of the game defensively. Pickett's just been all over the field on defense.
Yeah, you're right, Charlie. He has been everywhere and did an outstanding job right there as the quarterback tried to get over the top and get outside on that roll coverage, but he was there to run him down from behind.
Ball officially on the 6, so third down and 20 to go, and they're going to leave it on the ground, going around the right side, getting out across the 10. Between the hash and the numbers up near the 15-yard line is going to be Benny Benson, who's going to carry the football, and it's not going to be nearly enough for a first down. They were just trying to play it safe there, so it's going to be fourth down and 14 after the 6-yard gain. DJ Clayton's going to be back deep to receive, as he'll stand inside the 50-yard line at the 48 over on the far hash. And once again, Bo Johnson, who's going to have to ice down that leg after the game, is going to come out to punt this football away. Spot of the football is the 15-yard line. Their own 15 for Holmes. 5:33, 5:32. Clock rolling. This game's going to end here pretty quickly. Here's the snap to the chest and kicking it away. Getting it to Clayton at the 45-yard line of Holmes, and he's tackled as soon as he receives the football, and coming up to make the tackle is going to be Eli Watkins. And so EMCC will start in the neighborhood of the 45-yard line. Looks like they're going to put it at the 46. They will. So it'll be first down, 10 to go for EMCC at the Holmes 46. Fielded at the 45, tackled the 46, so lost a yard. No return on the play. Under 5 to play, 49-3, EMCC on top. And now with football possession at their own 46-yard line. Lindsey Scott Jr. in the shotgun. Justin Connor will be flanked to his right. Twin receivers either side. The snap from the left hash. And taking it's Connor, and he's going to be tripped up and dives down to the 41-yard line. And so that's going to be a nice run on first down, a gain of about 5 yards on the play. So it'll bring up a second down in medium with 4:29 to go in the game. Justin Connor for EMCC is a sophomore out of Sardis, an Ole Miss transfer out of North Panola High School. On second down, back to pass, now stepping up between two defenders to avoid pressure and getting the first down as he goes inside the 35 and walks out of bounds at around the 34 is going to be Lindsey Scott Jr. So he gets to the first down marker, moves the chains, goes out of bounds. And so it'll be a first down EMCC at the 34 of Holmes. 3:53, 3:52, clock rolling. Fourth quarter, 49-3 is the score. Twin receivers either side. Scott ready to snap it. He sends Connor out of the backfield in motion, so empty set. Everybody goes out for the pass. Tunnel screen, and it is caught by EMCC inside the 30 and down to the 26-yard line. Making the reception for the Lions is going to be Adrian Miller, freshman from Columbia, Mississippi. He's going to be short of the first down, but it's going to bring up a second down in short. Spot of the football is going to be around the 27-yard line. Penalty flag flies over on the home sideline at the 29.
7-yard gain.
That's not a penalty flag. That was something thrown by one of the coaches. It looked like a penalty flag. So I beg your pardon. So we have a timeout on the field. 3:23 to go in the fourth quarter. It's an official's timeout because of an injured Holmes player. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the EMCC Football Network. (49-3), number one EMCC on top of 15th ranked Holmes Community College. Still not sure who the injured player is. Let's go down to Glenn Beard on the field. He may be able to have a further report.
That's number 23, Jason. The running back got tangled up in there and couldn't tell what he hurt. I thought they were looking at his ankle, but the way he got up, he may have just knocked the wind out of him.
It's Dwayne Alford, a sophomore defensive back from Ocean Springs. And he's walking off on his own accord a little slowly as he's making his way to the Holmes sideline. EMCC ready to snap it as soon as he gets off the field to play. On second down and 3, ball spotted at the 27-yard line. The snap, and coming around the near side and going out of bounds is going to be Tamoris Connor, the new quarterback, and he's going to have enough for the first down as he gets inside the 25-yard line. Tamoris Connor, a 5'9", 170-pounder from Macon, Mississippi, played his high school ball at Knoxville County High School just up the way from us. Under 3 to play, down to the 21-yard line. First down EMCC, ball near hash. Connor with Justin Connor flanked to his left. The quarterback Connor fumbles the football, and Justin Connor, the running back, has to fall on it at the 25-yard line. So a loss of 4 on the play, and Justin Connor looked upset. It was just mishandled by Tamoris Connor. Gets confusing when both Connors are out there. One's quarterback, one's tailback.
Well, you're going to have those things. This is part of trying to work in the younger players, is give them experience and work out some of these things.
2nd and 14 from the 25-yard line. Back to pass and floating it and almost intercepted, tipped away by Holmes' Jadarius Hooks, a freshman defensive end, got his hands up, and well, we've seen a lot of rainbow screen passes by Lindsey Scott Jr., so Tamoris Connor tried that, and it got tipped away, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 14 from the 25 of Holmes.
I think if you had to do that over again, you throw it into the brick wall over there behind the Holmes bench.
Like
that was
Jesse
a
Wilson.
dangerous pass.
Second down ball, or third down, I should say, ball near hash, 3rd and 14. Connor just weaving in and out of the defense. He gets inside the 15, is going to be knocked down at the 14-yard line on the near hash, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. EMCC will keep their offense out there. 1:30 to go. 49-3 is the score. EMCC just ready to put this one in the record books. Spot of the football is going to be the 14. Here's the snapper inside the 14, I should say. And now going around near side, getting close to the goal line, and he's going to go down around the 4. For Connor.
Connor, the running back.
Justin Connor with the carry. 104, 103, clock rolling. So it's a first down goal to go for EMCC, down to the 4. Ball near hash. They reset the play clock now, and now they start it. 46 seconds, 45 seconds, and we'll see what EMCC is going to do here. Here's the snap to quarterback Connor, hands it off to tailback Connor. He spins around, it's going to be hit at the 3-yard line. I'm going to say the 4 is where he got. I thought he got a little bit closer than that, but the officials are down there. They see it, so no gain. So it's going to bring up now a 2nd and goal to go with 25 seconds. EMCC last week against Mississippi Delta just took a knee, and right now it looks like they're just going to kind of walk off the field. Buddy Stevens is satisfied. 16 seconds, now 15 seconds, and they're going to go out and shake hands now as this game is 10 seconds away from being in the record books. Number 1 takes down number 15 in fine fashion. Final score, 49-3 from Sullivan Wyndham Field. And Scuba back with a short post-game report momentarily. This is the EMCC Radio Network.
Fans, that's your ball game. The final score, the East Mississippi Lions 49.
Make it a minute.
You want to let him interview?
Do what now?
Real quick.
Final score 49-3. EMCC comes out victorious over number 15. Holmes Community College here at Sullivan Wyndham Field in Scuba, Mississippi. Let's take a look at the scoring summary, how EMCC was able to get it done. It was Tyrell Price with a 1-yard touchdown run with 10:24 to go in the first quarter. It was a 15-play, 71-yard drive, 4 minutes and 36 seconds off the clock. And EMCC led it 7-0 with a 5:01 to go in the first quarter. It was Mike Williams who hauled in a 22-yard pass from Lindsey Scott Jr. Crabtree with the kick, making it 14-0 EMCC. That capped a 7-play, 44-yard drive, 2 minutes and 3 seconds off the clock. EMCC would give up 3 points in this contest, and it came with 2:18 to go in the first quarter, I should say. Connor McKay hit a 26-yard field goal, capping a 7-play, 75-yard drive in 2 minutes and 34 seconds, making it 14-3. We stayed there until the third quarter when EMCC's Kirk Merritt got on the board officially, a 41-yard touchdown reception from Lindsey Scott, capping a 3-play, 58-yard drive in just 38 seconds, making it 21-3 after the Crabtree PAT. 9:32 to go in the third quarter. Lindsey Scott Jr., a 5-yard touchdown run. Crabtree with the kick, making it 28-3, was capping a 1-play, 5-yard drive, and 6 seconds off the clock. That was after the 35-yard interception return by Duke Upshaw, or Ty Williams, I should say. Or no, it was Duke Upshaw. Ty Williams did get an interception in this contest in the first half. With 4:30 to go in the third, it was Drummond with a 31-yard touchdown catch from Lindsey Scott Jr., making it 35-3, capping a 5-play, 69-yard drive, 1 minute and 25 seconds off the clock. Then it was Calvin Keys Jr., 57-yard touchdown reception from Lindsey Scott, making it 42-3. And then it was Braden Boykin, a 31-yard touchdown reception from Scott, making it 49-3. That was with 11:08 to go in the fourth quarter. So EMCC wins it big here, Charlie, 49-3 over number 15, Holmes.
Yeah, and for EMCC, it was a really good job in the second half of play. You could tell Coach Buddy Stevens not particularly happy with the ball game. It was 14-3 at the half, but in the second half, EMCC righted the ship, so to speak, and have to feel pretty good about the situation they are in currently, and have to feel really good about the play they got out of their quarterback, Lindsey Scott Jr.
All right, we'll be back in 1 minute as we'll have Buddy Stevens, eventually also Charlie Winfield's going to read some statistics for you as we continue the postgame show live from Scuba. This is the EMCC Football Network.
Over the Bulldogs of Holmes. We hope to have Buddy Stevens here in just a moment with Glenn Beard, but you look at this ball game, it was a game where East Mississippi had 449 yards passing and 63 for Holmes. So you look at the disparity in the passing game, and that basically tells the story of this contest. And Holmes, a team that likes to rush the football, just 152 yards on 43 carries. Meanwhile, EMCC had 31 carries for 120. So in terms of productivity, the better night, even in the rushing game, goes to EMCC, who racks up 569 yards of total offense compared to 215 for Holmes. So good job tonight by EMCC on both sides of the football. Got good play in the special teams. They got good punt returns from Kirk Merritt, among others. 5 returns for 53 yards in the punt game. And so you look at it for EMCC, it was a game where they were good in all phases, particularly in that second half of play. And it looks as if Glenn Beard has Coach Buddy Stevens lined up on the field.
All right, thank you, Charlie. Let's go down live to Buddy Stevens. Coach, congratulations to you. It was a big victory. I know that you weren't pleased at the half by the way your team was kind of shooting themselves in the foot. What adjustments did you make in the locker room? Got these guys out here spirited and ready to play in the second half? Well, there you go, buddy. You're good. You're on. Should be on. You might want to take a look at the microphone again. Maybe we need a halftime speech. There we go.
We good?
Yeah, we're good now.
All right. Well, no, I didn't say anything. I stayed away from it. The guys did a really good job of just understanding that, we were our own makers of our own misery in the first half. And in the second half, we came out, and I think the defense continued to play well. And once it started snowballing on Holmes, I think that was kind of the what ended the night for them, because once with their offense, once you get behind, it's tough for them to come up and draw up plays that they can score and that real fast. So that was the key. That was the key right there. Is the first 5 minutes of the third quarter is that we came out. We held them. They didn't score. Then we took the ball and scored within 3 or 4 plays there, and and then the defense got a interception right after that, and heck, it was on then. So I'm very proud of the guys. I think offensively, David Boykin did an outstanding job of having a really good game plan ready for him. I think Cliff Collins did I don't know that we've ever held that team to 3 points. I mean, that's probably as good as we've done since probably, I don't know what, maybe 2013 or 14. That's a really good job by those guys, and they were ready to. I think our whole team was ready to play, and boy, I tell you what, it's great to get this one behind us.
Coach, you look at the numbers passing the football and the passing yardage, almost 450 yards, and you want to, look at your quarterback and say what a great game he had. But boy, I thought your receivers really played physical football tonight.
Yeah, we challenged them to really kind of, step their game up a little bit to match what everybody else was doing, not only, on the team, but that's the key. If they're confident, if they're confident, we're going to be really good.
And Coach, the defense, you talked about Cliff Collins, doing a great job calling defensive plays. Just talk about the front seven, and they kept everything in front of them tonight for the most part.
Yeah, that was game plan going in, is to make sure that we wanted to take away dive, we wanted to take away quarterback run, and if we could do that, we felt like it. They were a good football team, but we felt like we were faster, and I think when we played soundly, when we played good base defense, it was all positive.
And finally, Coach, I know you're ready to go, but just Northwest next week. They're a team that defeated Holmes really handily, and they've had a good football team so far this year.
They have. I don't know what the score was tonight, but they do. Benji does a great job every year, and we got to go to their place. We'll need the fans to turn out and support us. But yeah, they Northwest. That should be for the North Championship right there.
Yeah, 35-0 Northwest with a win over Oklahoma tonight. Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Buddy Stevens joining us here on the post-game show, and Charlie Winfield, would you like to go ahead and leave us with some scores? All right, I'll pass them along for you. All right, you got Northwest, as I mentioned, defeating Oklahoma 35-0. Itawamba with a lead over Northeast Mississippi Community College, 54-28. Copiah Lincoln with a loss tonight to Hines. Hines with a 16-15 win, a final score at Colin and Wesson. Jones all over East Central, 49-7 final score from down in Ellisville. Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, 52-20 winners over Mississippi Delta. And your final score from here, 49-3. Number 1 over number 15 as EMCC defeats Holmes. We'll be back on the air next week. We got a 6:30 kick. We're going to be on the air at 6 p.m. Our pregame show is going to be just 30 minutes next week, 6 p.m. on the road in Senatobia, Mississippi, as EMCC will take on Northwest. The Rangers will be awaiting the Lions in Northwest Mississippi. 49-3, the final from Scuba. So for Glenn Beard, Charlie Winfield, Jaron Holmes back in the studio, I'm Jason Crowder saying so long, everybody. Good night. God bless. You've been listening to a production of EMCC Football on the EMCC Radio Network.